Let me go back and...
Where's our real theme song, Ronald?
What the fuck? Actually, you know what? Fine, hold on.
No. If it's a Sonic podcast, you know it's got to be Sonic Underground.
Oh no, it's coming. Here you go.
Central Say. Hey.
Hell yeah. Alright, now we're ready to start.
Great game.
You don't fuck with Dark Brotherhood? You don't fuck with...
I actually have a physical copy of this game.
And you bought this track, right?
Lost it.
No, I know exactly where it is. I just haven't played it.
Isn't it in your garbage?
No, what?
I lost
Your
mine
trash
a
compactor?
long time ago.
Oh,
See, here's the problem with Sonic Chronicles. It's a BioWare game.
Oh,
And
that
if
too.
you know me, you know that I am addicted and cannot stop playing BioWare games. I just haven't bothered with this one yet because
Yeah.
the fan reaction has been a little, let's go with aggressive, and I'm scared in a way I haven't been scared in a while.
Chronicles?
This
I
is
played
the...
through Chronicles.
I think we've all
through
played
it.
Chronicles, right?
Like, okay, back then when I was younger,
Yeah,
it wasn't, like, when I was younger, it wasn't as bad, but I was just like, that cliffhanger of an ending just,
Made you sad?
it just like, what? I was
Oh,
more
I'm
like,
sorry. You're mad at a cliffhanger ending?
Well,
I
I
got
mean,
nah, it wasn't.
they very clearly
Yeah.
intended on making a sequel, and then it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you guys ain't gonna finish it? Y'all ain't gonna finish your food? Y'all just
Nope.
gonna waste your food?
They just made Mass Effect right after.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't just that though. Archie problems struck at that
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Ken Pender
Mr.
strikes.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
The
Stream on?
human naked mole rat.
Okay, I'll
Destroy
stop you this
everything.
song now.
I was like, oh, is the stream on yet? Because I don't want you guys
Oh,
to
the
go
stream
ahead.
has
I don't
been
want his
on.
name to be... Oh, the stream's been on? Oh, well.
The
no.
stream is on.
Yo, I don't. You think I care? Bring it on.
You know
I don't care. I do not care. You can't litigate me. I don't even have any money. Like, what you gonna do, bro? Spend
Okay.
a bunch of money on lawyers that you can't afford to try to sue some nobody because he said you look like a human mole rat? You can't get mad at me for the truth, bro. It's not my fault.
Hey, that ain't not... Hey, I'm
Blame
not...
your
hey, I'm
parents,
not-
bro. I did not do that to you.
Oh, what the
Hey.
fuck are you talking about?
Have you looked at Ken Penders? That
Yeah,
nigga
he's
look like
ugly.
Nick Mole rat.
He's ugly,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not saying...
Howdy, by the way, whoever may be watching right now.
Oh, shoot.
Uh,
I'm just gonna be watching,
This is the Laura Sue Chronicles podcast. We're talking about all the Ken Pender's comics.
Nope, I'm killing everybody in this chat and then
oh,
myself.
heck.
That's it.
This has been an amazing start. So this is, I believe it's episode 6, assuming I updated my imagery correctly. It has been a good minute since Sonic Prime's quote-unquote Season 1 ended, but we've been some of us have been wanting to talk about it for a minute, and honestly, with the variety of thoughts that some of us may have, I thought it'd be an interesting discussion. And since the next season, I'm gonna keep putting season in quotes because of the weird way that they decided to split up the episodes. There's no like set date for when it'll come back, so I think that honestly also leaves some room for us to like speculate and whatnot. But what I wanted to do first was we'll just go around and have everyone give their general thoughts or criticisms, as I know some may have in here, and then the usual natural back and forth. When people are giving their thoughts, you can feel free to chime in, add context, or whatever, and then I'll have some more specific questions later on. But for the sake of order, do y'all
Bro,
just
you
want to...
never introduce us.
Yeah, bro.
Can you,
Never seen
can
us.
you wait?
I was gonna
Heard of
introduce
us.
myself. I don't need B-Boy to introduce
I
me.
haven't even gotten the Discord heads thing working. Hold on. Because I was going to say, oh yeah, in fact, I think I need to recopy it. I was going to say, we always like are unsure about order and how to do it, but if you guys want, we can go in Discord order. I will give an introduction also, and we'll go from there. Does that sound good?
man is an expert. He's a world-class podcaster, guys. Give him a break.
I'm a very professional content creator.
See,
Yeah,
it's true because he said it.
Oh my god. So I would just want to start first with GenesisFrenzy. Y'all, hopefully you guys know him all by now. Hopefully you all follow his streams and YouTube by now. I still consider him one of the most real Sonic fans in this Discord.
I don't know what that means.
Wait, I've established you've done
live
the
and
most with
breathe
the series.
Sonic.
Sure.
Okay, no,
Your
it's
name
more
is
so.
GenesisFrenzy, so I'm assuming.
No,
Like, you
he
can
only
check out his
likes
channel.
Sega
He's done
hardware.
reviews
He
and
doesn't like the
stuff.
games.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's true. Sonic isn't even in my top 3.
Oh, that hurt.
Look, man, I was referring to your
Right,
general
right.
experience with the franchise, but proceed. Go ahead, man.
That hurt.
Well, what's the question?
Oh, my bad. I don't know if you guys can see the image. So the first thing I want to do is we'll go around and you can give your like general first impressions and thoughts on Sonic Prime so far. Like, what you thought from seeing these first episodes? You thought it was good or bad, and whatever specific critique you may have in relation to like your expectations, or like if we're already gonna dip into the road of comparing it to the other shows, whatever you feel is fit to discuss your overall thoughts on the show.
Okay. Just like just literally everything like with it, or just story specifically, or just whatever I want.
Yeah, whatever you want, because I have some other specific things we'll talk about later on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll just be upfront that like with like Sonic media in general, when it comes to like the movies or the other TV shows, I'm not nearly as like familiar with those. I mainly watched Sonic X when I was younger, and of course I watched the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Sat AM, Sonic Underground. I watched those, but I didn't really get into them that much, at least not as much as the games, right? I like Sonic X. I would say Sonic X is probably like my favorite out of all the shows. And I didn't really watch too much of Boom. I watched, I think, a good majority of it. I think I got through, like, I'm not sure, like, the first, like, I think I did go through the whole series. I remember I, like, binged it at one point. But, yeah, so Sonic Prime, this one was kind of, like, announced, like, with a bunch of other stuff, right? It was kind of announced with, like, Frontiers. It was announced with, like, Origins all around, like, the same time.
The year of
so
Sonic, according to Iizuka.
Yeah, it kind of got buried within a lot of this stuff. I mean, you know, not to mention it came out at literally the end of 2022. So, I mean, when this was, like, coming out, I almost forgot. Like, just being honest, I didn't even, like, see it until, like, I think almost a week after it even came out. So, it was completely off my radar. So, I didn't get around to it for a little bit. But I watched the series over the course of a few days, and to be honest, like I liked what I watched. You know, I had a good time. It was entertaining, but I didn't really think it left that much of an impact on me. It kind of reminds me of Boom in a lot of ways, although I would prefer this to Boom so far. Even if Prime, as of right now, isn't, you know, complete. They announced that there would be more episodes, right? So who's really to say, you know, if they're going to continue, right? This leaves off on a cliffhanger, right? So they'll continue the dimension hopping stuff, but I have no idea if like this is going to be something that goes beyond the dimension hopping. You know, maybe they'll do like a new arc or something in like a, you know, next season or whatever the case is. But yeah, I mean, I had a good time with it. I don't know if anybody caught the premiere in Roblox.
I did not.
like a week early in Roblox. I thought that was pretty funny.
That was interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty all right. But generally, like the story, so you know, it's about, you know, multiverse type stuff. It seems to be like the trend nowadays with, you know, Marvel and all that, making all these like dimension hopping stuff with alternate universe people and all that. So I mean, this is sort of kind of like being a part of that trend. Doesn't mean it's gonna be like dated in a few years or whatever, but it's just it's something that like now we're just seeing Sonic's version of it. We've seen so many different other like alternate universe things up to this point that the sort of premise isn't very unique, and it's honestly getting very tired. But I did like the being able to hop between the different dimensions with like the I don't know, the plot MacGuffin, the Prime Stone, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Paradox Prism?
Paradox Prism, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like I did, like seeing these other characters, although I'll say that like the dystopian future whatever is easily the most interesting, which makes sense, right? That seems to be like the main one they're gonna go back to a lot. I wasn't really a big fan when the show kind of lulled in for like a couple episodes with the prehistoric stuff that was going. I just
that part of the show.
That is easily the weakest part of the show. Like it's kind of like midway through, and it wasn't that great. It just kind of that part of the show isn't necessarily like bad. It just kind of reminds me of like something that you would like like Sonic Boom or something, like something very like mundane, not really exciting for me.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, and then what they were like the Pirate World after that. That one's a little bit better, but like the problem with like dimension hopping and stuff is that the entire like core of making it interesting is seeing the different versions of the characters that we're already familiar with and how they're different and how they're similar, whatever. But the problem when you dimension hop between, right, like the prehistoric and the pirates is that there's just not enough time to really build like any type of like definite character with these people. It's like, oh yeah, Tails in the prehistoric is like rabbit or whatever.
Feral.
Yeah. So like that's they kind of just get like these like one note like characters, just very like archetype type stuff. So it didn't really like stick with me, honestly, and that was probably I think like the part that I disliked the most was just like the fact that the other versions of characters they just weren't very interesting to me. But again, you have to look at the target audience for this. It's for kids, and I think like just the idea of seeing like prehistoric like cavemen like Rouge and Amy and stuff is interesting in of itself. So for me though, I didn't really care for it. But yeah, I mean the style of the show, right, is fairly similar to like Sonic Sat AM, with the Resistance taking over.
Sure
like,
tries to be.
Yeah. It tries to be as good. Again, the problem is that there's not enough episodes to really have come to like some very strong like conclusive opinion about it, just because there's only like 8 episodes, right, or something.
Yeah.
And one of them is like twice the size of any other episode. First one.
Yeah, so it's just like there's not much to go off of right now. It's just it's very much like a work in progress, which I very much hope that this series actually does get some type of like actual ending, because the fact that it is a Netflix show, that in of itself is very much up in the air, right? It did get confirmed for more episodes, but Netflix just loves to axe things immediately.
And because they say get confirmed for more episodes. Still mad about Inside Job.
Yeah, so it's like who really knows, right? I think the fact that this is a Netflix show does make it a little bit like more suspicious if it's actually going to finish. So who really knows what's gonna happen in that regard? But I think like looking at it so far, I think this is a promising start. It's not perfect at all. I think like the strong points would have to be like I think the voice acting is good. Devin Mack as Sonic, obviously taking a lot of cues from Roger Craig Smith and his performance, but I still think he kind of does his own thing. I do like the writing. It's very much like very like basic childish humor, but it's not like anything too like
Over the top.
it's not too cringy, I would say.
Yeah.
Like generally with like Sonic jokes, they can get pretty cringy, but this show I thought was pretty alright. Like it didn't make me like just like wince as much as some other Sonic media has.
That's the complete opposite feeling that I had.
Really?
A lot of the writing.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
A lot of the
Interesting indeed.
I think your turn's coming up soon.
Yeah, I think for like jokes though, like again, it's not necessarily memorable. It's just something that I didn't find like particularly offensive for me. I think like the only joke that I even remember from the show, and I haven't seen the show for like almost like 2 months now, was the part after they finish like beating all the Eggman's robots. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, they're the council now, right?
Yeah, the Egg Council.
Yeah, the 5 Eggmen.
Yeah, the laser that goes around, they're just kind of talking and they just like duck occasionally. I thought that was pretty funny.
That was actually really funny, not gonna lie.
I like dumb visual humor like that. I thought that was easily the best joke out of the whole like series. Nothing that they really like talked about or any like punchlines in that regard really impacted me much. But yeah, I mean, as I said, like voice acting across the board is good. I think one of the things that I was the most like curious about would have to have been like Eggman, just because we've had Mike Pollock like literally forever.
Yeah.
So this is other than like Jim Carrey, this is the first like new Eggman like in a long time. And you know what? He did a good job. Although I will say that he is very much trying to be like Mike Pollock. That's definitely the route he's trying to go, which is fine. Like it's an iconic voice. It's kind of hard not to hear that voice, coming from Eggman. But
yeah, he's locked in as far as I'm concerned. Mike Pollock is the Eggman now.
Yeah, but I do like that Sega is allowing different people to sort of like take up these characters, right? Before they were just like, no, just for kids, and eventually they were like, oh, never mind, right? After like after the Colors cast did Boom, and then they kind of replaced some of them, right, with like the newer games. It's nice to see that they're like hey, you know what, like the games will have their own voices. This will have they'll have their own voice in Sonic Prime. That's cool. But like characterization, right? You have a lot of the fan favorites. It's nice to see like Shadow in here. Right now there's not really much for him to have done. That's kind of the problem, is that they're setting up a lot of stuff.
He's definitely a setup character. Right now.
Yeah. Like so far, right? Like he seems alright. Like everybody seems alright so far. There's just not too much to say, right? We didn't have much of there isn't really much like setup for the original characters. There's a lot more setup for the dystopian universe characters. So you see them a lot more, like the alternate version of Tails and Knuckles and Rouge and all that.
Like 9.
Yeah. That was kind of like weird. Like in the beginning with 9, I was like, I'm not sure if I feel this, but I kind of like it. It's different, right? It's not like I'm not like crazy about it. I'm not like, oh yeah, 9 is amazing.
It's the shadow version of Tails, essentially.
Yeah, it's just like emo Tails. It's kind of funny, just a little bit. That's where I feel like the humor in the show might work a little bit better, when like you just have like these kind of stark contrasts to their like default characters. That's probably where things work a little bit better. I'll say that the best voice out of all of them I thought was Rouge. I thought she was a lot better than like the current Rouge voice actress that they've had in like Team Sonic Racing and such.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't even remember how Rouge sounds now. So
Yeah.
I think this one was actually a really good fit.
Yeah, she's probably the best fit since like X, honestly, for like the character.
Original, the 4 kids stuff.
Yeah, I was like, that's not the original Rouge, but it is an iconic one.
Yeah.
It's not the original Rouge. I think this Rouge voice probably sounds the most similar to like your SA2 voice, I would say, or like Heroes.
Oh yeah, it's the best
Kind
one.
of like that younger voice, but I kind of like it because it's not it's not exactly the same. It's kind of like it's more like mature than that voice, but it's not quite like X, sounding. It's not quite that deep.
It's like in the middle.
So, yeah, I do kind of like this. I would honestly like to see her like be Rouge in games if they ever do anything with her ever again in games. But yeah. Oh, I took another note. The action in this, like the animation, like when they're like fighting and stuff, I thought the fighting in this was way better than anything they ever had in Boom. Just straight up, Boom felt so stilted most of the time. It felt like they nerfed Sonic's speed in that show. This show actually let Sonic be fast, and the animation was very frenetic during fights, and that was probably one of the more like standout parts of this show. Was just like how fun the fights were. There wasn't that many, but the ones that were in here were fun, and they were fun to watch.
I always consider, hold on, I was just one quick thing. I always consider like Boom because of this comedy. I considered it more so comedy than action. I considered it more like, yeah, the fights and everything in Boom, it wasn't really the main selling point. It was more so just the comedy and everything. So that's fair. That's fair. I definitely think the vibes that they were going for Boom kind of felt like slice of lifey, but even so, I mean, at its core, Sonic is supposed to be fast and cool, right? And I think in that show they kind of very much scaled it back, probably for budget's sake, I would imagine.
I would
this show, since it's much shorter as for now, the budget and animation quality is a lot higher, so that's good to see. I guess last real big thing is the different Eggmen, right? Like I think that's pretty like funny. Like I don't like all of them really, and again, right, there's not
that
much
baby
to go
was mad
off of.
annoying, not gonna lie.
The baby was pretty stupid.
The baby and the Zoomer Eggman.
The fucking like the dude, the Eggman on his game or whatever the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty fucking dumb. I like that they're taking like risks, right? It's not just like evil, powerful Eggman. It's just a bunch of different ones, like with starkly different like personalities. It's a little funny. Maybe not the most original thing ever, but it was funny to see, I would say. But yeah, just kind of to wrap up, just because again, right, I don't have as much like in-depth thoughts about this. Just overall, I had a good time. I was entertained. I'm kind of curious to see where it's going to go from here. So far, I think the characterization, everything is fine, but the multiverse stuff just isn't as interesting to me. So inherently I have as less interest in the show maybe than if it wasn't like this, but I still am pretty optimistic to see where it will go from here. And again, I do hope that there is some type of ending for it, or at least they have like a roadmap for what they want to do. So yeah, I would say like in terms of a recommendation, I would say it's worth it. I mean, it's only like 8 episodes, so it's really not long at all. It's definitely like you can get through it in like an afternoon, honestly, if you binge it. But yeah, I would probably put it second place, maybe third, actually, maybe third behind Sat AM and First X.
Yeah, see, you guys are, in fact, you're already getting into one of the things I was gonna ask y'all later, with like overall rating of the show, and then like whether or not you'd recommend it.
Okay,
but it's fine. You touch on
that. I haven't given a number rating yet. I'll save that.
Nice. Alrighty.
Pass the mic.
Okay, so next we'll do the homie guardcory.
No, I've elected to go last.
Oh, you.
I've elected to go
He's
last.
already saving for the instigation that's gonna happen.
But that's the main title, card fight.
Oh my god.
Versus Ronald.
Oh my god. In fact, I'm wondering if I even should give my... Well, I don't know. We'll see what we do later. Then in that case, we'll go to the homie MCM.
Hello.
I'd say at this point, a regular on these Sonic Podcast episodes is engagement with the franchise has seemed to go up and down between like the games and the shows. But
You've definitely seen him at your locals' bathrooms playing PBO.
Oh,
that's for sure.
I don't actually play PBO in my local bathroom, but
Bathrooms,
I have seen
back
I've heard
dumpsters,
Reddits
same
of people.
difference.
Huh? I mean, that's probably why I played at Vortex Gallery, and I don't know, but nah, I'm not gonna tell you guys how I did.
Speaking of Vortex Gallery, side note, Sega related. Congrats to Riley for getting second.
yes, sir.
Via
Thank you.
online.
Yeah, that is Sega related, actually.
Yeah, that is Sega. Yes. Thank you.
Good stuff, man.
Oh,
But
we
with,
got a banger going. Go on.
yeah,
we do.
and with MM, either way, I wanted to pick his brain and see what his thoughts would be, especially compared to like some of the other Sonic media that he has a preference for. So go ahead, MM.
It's been a while since I've seen the last two Sonic. I only saw only 2 episodes and everything, but it was like I lost count of everything. But honestly, I have to rewatch the first episode again just to see how it felt, just to remember how how it was. But so far there's a lot that I would like to see if they do more episodes and stuff, and would like to see how they would how they would continue the story and everything. But overall, the animation seems nice. It's so weird to hear the characters with different voices when compared to like 4Kids, but I mean with older Sonic media, they switched voice actors a lot, but it just feels so weird hearing newer actors for the newer VAs for the series. It's just like after hearing 4Kids and the
Current game cast too.
Yeah, after hearing them, I'm just like, dang. I'm still weirded out. I'm like, I mean, it's just like some of the voice. I'm so used to like 4Kids voice acting that I don't know. This one isn't really one of my favorites, but it's a cartoon, so
So it hasn't grown on you yet. Well, but then again, you just
hasn't
started.
really grown on me.
The initial first impression is it's jarring.
It's jarring, but I mean, yeah, it's probably just my first few episodes, so I'm not. That's just my first impression. It
That's
happened
fair.
with Sonic and happened with Sonic Colors. It happened here. It'll grow on me. But I know Brian Drummond voiced Eggman. I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who is actually I forgot if we had summed it up like last time when we were like early looking into the show. Did we see where Brian Drummond is from? Because at first we were wondering if it was related to Ryan Drummond.
OG, but he also showed up in a Sonic thing before.
Yeah.
Really?
He was Knuckles in Sonic Underground, but this dude has like a prolific anime career.
Yeah.
So they really picked pretty notable people across the board then, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see where.
Damn,
Was
he
it
was in
Sonic
like
Underground?
every Barbie
He's-
movie.
He's Ryuk in Death Note, the anime.
Y'all
Wait,
can't
is
be
he
hitting
actually?
me with the jokes.
And the best one, he's Milliarda Peacecraft from Gundam Wing, one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
And in all of those
Oh.
Dynasty Warriors Gundam games.
Oh
He
yeah.
was
they're
also
so
in
good.
Bratz Kid's Sleepover Adventure.
Yo,
Yeah, but he
the
took
best
his movie
one.
out.
Oh, he was
Crap.
also in the Ocean. He was also Vegeta in the Ocean dub.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's
Yo, okay, so this guy is okay, so
He's
I
an
found a
OG,
favorite.
is it
He's
good?
an OG,
OG.
okay. You know
Dang,
what?
they were on point with picking like the new casting for this, which I was gonna.
He was
Well, I'll get
also-
into that more later. But honestly, I really do
Oh, wow.
think they did a good job with the voices overall.
He was in
Okay,
Mucho
Brian Drummond
Lucha.
also.
Yo.
He's
Mucho Lucha.
No, okay. You know what? I'm a big. I kind of like this guy. So honestly, Eggman's voice acting was like the guy who, Brian Drummond who voiced I think 3 of the 5 Eggmen. Yeah, they're.
Wait,
not
really?
too
Wait,
bad.
hold
He did
on.
really well. It felt like. Yeah, it did at first after rewatching it just right now. I did feel like I thought it was Mike Pollock for a second, but no, actually, he kind of has that voice of Eggman right there.
Like Riley said, I can hear how he's like going for that direction, which it's a safe direction to go, again, because of like how iconic of a voice Mike Pollock is at this point. But he does put a little bit of his own flair, especially when it comes to like the interaction with the other Eggmans.
Right.
Eggman.
The Chaos Council.
The Chaos Council.
I forgot they called it
That sounds so weird. Honestly,
That's honestly kind of cool.
The Chaos Council. You know, because when you hear Chaos Council, you're thinking like 7 of the members of like, you know, Chaos's seven
Steady or something.
Well,
Yeah,
they had to go
you
with
know.
5. They didn't have a. Well, oh wait, actually, what if they did have like a full 7? Okay, we're thinking ahead already.
But overall, just, you know, I did for the first episode, from like rewatching it, like at least the first 2 episodes. I mean, or at least the first one, because I couldn't finish the second one on time. Had a nap.
What the?
I had
Sorry,
it.
Jacksepticeye is in this.
He's one of the
I'm not-
pirates.
Okay, so
He's-
that's
He's a pirate. The
That
one
was
that's like,
him. Oh my
it's so
God.
easy to plunder Knuckles' crew. His name is Jack. I had to look it up.
oh, so that really I thought that was just a meme. I didn't think that.
No, he's really in the
Actually,
show.
Yeah.
That's him.
What in the
But yeah,
world?
so
Okay.
overall, the story, it was like, for the first 2 episodes, it felt like it was going into like the older Sonic, 90s Sonic stories, where it was like, you know, Sonic Undergrounds and Sonic Saturn, and where it was just like, you know, freedom fighters and all that stuff. So it kind of felt, it didn't feel like the stories didn't. I feel like Saturn did it a little better, but I don't know. That's just my first impressions and everything. So yeah, and seeing the 5 Eggmen, it was just weird. It was weird, but like
It's just
animation,
weird. Straight up.
it was weird because like I'm seeing teenage Eggman, I'm seeing Eggman who looks like a hipster or sounds like a hipster. I don't know. It just
And the old Grandpa Eggman that actually,
Oh.
honestly, doesn't do a lot.
he
I
looks
don't
like
think he does anything.
He's there
talks
for
more
like.
towards the last episode.
Yeah, he's like there for like
when they have-
quippy
when they have
one-liners,
9
and that's it.
captive.
Yeah, that's
Most
what
time
I'm
he's
Yeah.
just snapping.
He's like from Dexter's Ego Trip, like the old Dexter,
Yeah.
old man.
Dexter's-
That is what he
Oh,
does. The energy
God.
he carries.
Or if you guys watch the Smurfs, he was like the grandpa Smurf of the bunch. And I was just like,
Papa Smurf? That one?
Nah.
no. There's another one. I forgot the other name.
There's
But
another one?
There's an
Sorry.
older person named Papa Smurf. Yeah.
I'm sort of lacking on my Smurfs lore. my
Yeah,
bad.
that's same.
Don't worry, it's
Bro, everyone's about to beat the shit out of you if you called the Grandpa Smurf instead of Papa Smurf. You know how many people got mad?
Oh no.
no.
What?
You guys gotta watch y'all. You guys gotta watch y'all. You guys gotta know y'all Smurf lore. I remember.
Brother, I haven't seen
I'm
anything
old.
Smurf
I'm old.
related
Like,
in
bro,
that.
I don't even
I don't
remember what a
know.
Smurf is. I was like, Andre?
You guys gotta remember. I'm
You
like,
don't know, bro.
okay, I'm gonna tell you guys my background a little bit.
Oh,
When it
no.
In
comes to,
Smurf
like-
lore?
Oh no, not the Smurf lore. I'm just gonna tell you guys. I used to watch old TV shows
Ooh, frick.
back then on my grandma's lap when I was when I was younger, and when I was like really young. So
Yeah, I too
Yeah, I
watched
remember
Boomerang
I
stuff
mean,
from
I
time to
feel
time.
you. Boomerang was going crazy when I was a kid, but if you asked me who the Snorks were, I'm like, water Smurf?
Water. What the frick?
let me get back on topic. But
I woke up today hoping I wouldn't learn anything about Smurfs lore.
I
Day
still
ruined.
didn't.
I hope you guys learn something new. You guys learn something new every day. Trust me. When I first heard about that a long time ago, I was like, wait, there's a grandpa version of Papa Smurf. Oh,
Was the
well,
point is that you have like
I'm concerned.
that's part of your perspective is like that comparison
Yeah.
to like older kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I was just like, oh man, this is like a Dexter's Ego Trip thing, isn't it? And yeah, it's still, like I said, I only watched the first 2 episodes. Animation is really good. I really do like the animation. Though I feel like it's stilted here and there. It was stilted here and there a little bit, but And story, I can't really tell you the story because I only, like I said, it's very small. But from what I gathered,
I will say you have plenty of time to catch up, honestly, because we don't have
I'm
a
gonna throw this
set
out
date.
there just as an aside. Even though you've only watched 2 episodes, you're still pretty much caught up.
Isn't that
honestly
the most
kind of
painful sentence that you can utter for an 8-episode series?
Yeah.
Well,
You
no,
still
okay.
pretty much have gotten the gist of it.
Well,
which
because
is...
for context, what they do with the storytelling of this, it's like an ongoing mystery, and they do a lot of
Yeah,
like back
you
and
think they're
forth.
doing Memento.
you're right.
I hate them for it.
It was weird seeing. It was like one of my favorite characters, Amy Rose. It's like it's weird seeing her being look like a roboticized version of a
Oh,
SWAT
you're
or something like
you're
that. I
in
was
for a
like,
grand old time, friend. Watch the rest of those
Oh my
episodes
gosh.
ASAP.
Yeah,
Why would
I'm
you
like,
tell him that?
I've seen.
There's no context there. All I said is you
I've seen
got something to
comics
watch.
of like Cave Woman Amy. I was like, Cave Pirate.
Did those
Pirate.
comics start on? Were they on the site called nhentai.com?
Excuse me?
No.
Just making sure.
No,
Okay.
No.
You
No,
can't
it's
be
like,
leading the people away from the stream like that.
No, I don't go that far.
Can you post it in the chat? Can you post it?
Yeah. Give me the sauce, bro. What's
No,
the
don't
code?
go that far. Wait, don't put comments at that.
Oh my god.
Y'all, nice try, mister. But you did.
Either way, I'm saying you have time to catch up on the episode, but in terms of how they tell the like central mystery of the story, there will be like stuff to like watch and like process with the characters and like what they've been saying. I mean, some versions have more time to shine than others, obviously, but
Right.
I can say that Robo Amy is like fairly relevant. So keep watching. You'll see.
Keep watching. All right,
Yeah.
because overall, just like I didn't see Pirate Knuckles in them.
That's later.
Oh man, you won't be seeing them for a while.
I won't get to see the pirates. Oh man.
You
Well,
will. No, they're in the
bro,
show.
we're not exaggerating. You could go
Baby,
watch the rest of
you
it
won't be
tonight.
seeing-
Oh, no, I'm like I won't be able to see them for a while. Oh man.
It's not gonna take you that long. You could watch
Yeah,
all of
no,
it
No, I'm
tonight.
talking about like after I watch it and then.
Oh, well, because again,
Yeah.
like who knows what they'll do later, but we don't have a set date on the next episodes, and then even then, like in terms of story relevance, like I don't even know
I'm
if it
just
counts as
saying,
spoilers
like-
because it's just speculation, but I don't know.
Well,
You'll have to wait
you
and
know,
see.
Oh man,
I'm
I'm gonna
speculating.
I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah, there's gonna be spoilers, bro.
Like I don't care about the spoilers, but I'm like, I'm speculating. If I'm speculating like the final episodes to be like a Dexter's ego trip kind of battle.
Well, like a battle royale with everyone, someone
Yeah,
and everybody.
with
Which,
Robo-
by the way, don't get too much into speculation because we're gonna talk about that later.
Reduce your expectations.
I guess I gotta
I-
rewatch that Dexter movie. I haven't seen that since it originally aired.
That was a long time ago.
That was in '99.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Oh, damn, that really
Oh,
was a long
boy.
time ago. But do you
That
have
was
any other? Well, actually, I'm not gonna have you do too much extra closing thoughts because if we go too much into speculation, we're gonna bleed into what's gonna come later on.
All right. Well, overall, my first expectations is it's still left to be desired to me, for me of course, but it's like like I have to watch more of the show to go and kind of see how it's gonna go in the future. But overall, first impressions compared to like Sonic X, and what others, and like SatAM or The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's what I should say. Yeah, it's not the worst. It's kind of like first impressions. I can remember those stories a little bit more fondly than mine, but it's at least you get to see Big the Cat. So.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
big.
you. Let's put up the big
surprisingly-
counter. How many times we bring him up?
Oh my god. Well,
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
good.
even like. Actually, honestly, I think he's more important in Frontiers than the show. But
Nah,
at least-
you're coping.
He hasn't
how is that
coping.
coping? He talks at
coping.
least.
Hold on.
Ronald hates Big. He wants to take away. all his
No, okay,
accomplishments.
listen. With
What,
Frontiers, the big hate is over. I'm not a anti-big guy anymore. But
Mm.
What was-
You
We'll
were a
see.
big
I didn't know you were an
He
anti.
was.
Oh, is this about Sonic Adventure 1?
Oh yeah, because he's whacking
It's
Sonic.
Froggy's fault more than Big's fault. Man.
Froggy is more important than Big, but that's not the point here. The point is, in the show, he actually like has dialogue and like points of humor. Like he contributes to the overall tone of the show. So like he deserves his like fame here. Big is a character now. This is the year. This is a good year for Big.
He hasn't been a character since Sonic Heroes.
The only thing I took away from what B-Boy said was, "I hate fishing. Don't ever take this man fishing."
Actually, I don't like fishing.
What?
The one time I've gone fishing, it was not that fun.
What? Okay, you're gonna have to tell me the lore after everything is said and done. So
He didn't have his hat that said "Fish fear me, women want me." It was incomplete.
Didn't know I was in a
It
chat
was
full
very-
of fishermen,
that is-
honestly.
but yeah, so okay, on to who else is next?
All right, so then next would be XOF. One of my long-standing Sonic homies. We've talked about so many things, on and off this podcast, and I assumed that his opinion on this show may be like one of the like main middle grounds in terms of the very polarizing perspectives that are going to come later from guardcory and possibly me, because apparently I always fill that overly optimistic spot. But I think XOF might be more in the middle ground, but we'll see. Go ahead, dude.
I think you nailed it, because you ever have those like watches where you're like, oh wow, I was pleasantly surprised. Well, I kind of had the opposite. There was a lot more I was surprised I didn't like, but overall, I thought the show was fine. It's not complete, so I can't necessarily judge its merits like in whole. But what I did see, here's my tinfoil take. In fact, you can record this and clip it, and then play it back when we do this again. I'm thinking this is just one big commercial for the next game, the next mainline game.
That'd be freaking wild.
I actually had that thought this morning.
I think this is just them kind of testing the waters / also them sort of just being like, well, we can kind of show it to them. We can kind of feed them bit by bit and see how they like it. And from what I've gathered, a lot of my non Sonic friends, or at least people who like don't care about Sonic or are just casual fans, they seem to really like the show. And I'm just like, this would be a really good way to kind of like sort of advertise what could be coming next, because we already know that the boost formula games are over, at least so they say.
Potentially,
and so this could be the next formula. This could be the Dimension era, because I think we're barely still in the boost era. We can discuss that later, of like what eras count as what.
That hooks into my other category.
Because just also throwing that aside, people still can't decide if Adventure era is its own era. Which is, by the way.
Anywho.
Yeah, that could be a whole other thing.
Who says that? Who says it isn't?
Yeah, I thought they said it did.
It's one of those things that like hasn't been like agreed upon by everyone, but more people than not are like, yeah, Adventure era is its own era.
I mean, even Sonic Generations'
exactly.
complete soundtrack divides them up like that. Like they divide up the music.
Trust me, I agree. I'm just saying. Like,
Point them out, bro. I'll talk to them.
Yeah, I'll find them.
I'll find them.
I'll put up my bounty sheet soon. It's coming up. Check the boards.
The Adventure era lasted with the voice that I guess when I go by the BAs, it lasted until Sonic Advance 3 for me. So
yeah, exactly. But outside of that, well, that could be another little mini topic. I think the main strength of this show is everyone not Sonic, and not because Sonic is bad, but rather everyone else just carries really hard. Surprisingly enough, I think Rouge really like carries like in all the little eras, whether she was like Ooga Booga Rouge or Freedom Fighter Rouge.
Excuse me?
Yeah, Cave Woman Rouge in the jungles.
Okay.
Riley's response.
Also, Prim carried?
Prim was... Remind me.
Prim could carry a bat to the head.
Oh, yeah.
Is what she could carry.
Wait, Prim was... Remind me again.
That's Ooga Booga Rouge.
Oh, yeah, she was definitely the weakest one. I'm not gonna defend that.
Like
But,
what she did. No.
I did like.
said
I
go
like.
last, and I will go last.
I liked the majority of the different characters' takes, and they really played off Sonic well. And Sonic was probably the most like, I guess, benevolent we've ever seen him. He's like the most caring slash like most like involved in like fixing things. Normally he's just like, whoa, radical, and kind of being more of the second-hand
most-
person.
He was much more of an
But-
anime
The most
pro tag
caring
here.
Sometimes, like the writing is really
I don't
selective
know.
on when he is caring.
I kind of
Is it?
miss like how Sonic was
Yes,
back in...
He has plenty of times just to be like, whoa, later guys, but that's a big part of the show that where I guess depends on who you ask could be a hit or miss, is where it's like, oh yeah, he's taking the time to like put these people's problems into focus and to really help them out, especially with the last part with the pirates and whatnot. But I like that. I think my biggest issue with the whole show is the mechanics of the prisms, because as in like Sonic's like, I gotta get it, and then he touches them and teleports, and then we kind of just go in this loop of like 5 episodes straight. So like, I gotta find the stone. He touches it, he goes back, and he just keeps repeating. I'm like, aren't you supposed to?
MacGuffins, bro?
Sort of, yeah. It's a weird MacGuffin, because the MacGuffin's supposed to lead you to the finality of, said story, and it can. Again, I can't say it's not doing that. It's just them not really explaining it well, or at least hinting at it, is what bugged me. But again, the second half could totally fix that. I'm willing to, wait on that. I was just more so confused about like, how people are like, haha, where does Sonic keep all those rings that he carries? I kind of just assumed that sort of logic would just apply, and that he would just have them and pull them out of like his magic pocket. But they've definitely highlighted the fact that like every time he touches it, he doesn't take it with him. He just teleports.
Is that really what they did? Because I didn't even, when I was watching it, I was just like, oh, he's just picking them up, and they're
No, he doesn't
disappearing.
pick them up. He doesn't pick them every time he touches them. Because remember when they showed that 9 betrays the Freedom Fighters? He takes the stone after Sonic touched it and then teleported away to the jungle world.
Yeah, but that logic didn't apply for rings, because when he picked them up, he just touched
exactly.
them.
Well,
That's exactly
no,
what I-
some of them
that's exactly
like
what I'm getting
disappear
at.
with the sound effect, but then other times Sonic
so
will
it's
like
like,
physically
he can
hold
touch
the
a
ring.
ring and then just like have it in his inventory, but the stones don't work, or the prisms don't work that way.
I think the logic they were going for is that it's
So-
reacting with whatever energy Sonic
So
has.
we're under the impression that like he has to get all the stones again, because of course it's a Sonic story. He has to collect something.
No.
So
collect all the Chaos Emeralds.
I'm not exactly like the biggest fan of this one. It just seems like it's going to be thrown to the wayside. Assuming this doesn't become a game, eventually this is going to be one of those like, oh, throw them in the pile with the time stones and the, what's the stone from Mania?
The Phantom
movie?
Ruby?
Yeah, that's it.
That was cool, but we're never going to see that again. And this also dawned upon me that like Sega will do anything to never go back to the Blaze and Silver World ever again.
They
Our
really need to
first-
do it again.
Our first like biggest like alternate world in the Sonic franchise, and
They're just salty that 06 bombed. It's just like, guys, just give it up.
Well,
06
even
Rush-
with 06
Rush
itself-
did bizarre.
Rush did fairly
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, well that's
It
the
was
thing
so
with 06
good.
itself. They like didn't
And
even
I
know
would-
how to manage it. They were like, oh,
So, like-
they're from the future, I guess.
A
I
part
do
of me
miss Blaze as well in 06. I mean,
Yeah.
Rush. It was like I want to go back there. I'm like, there's more to like the story and everything. We're like,
And
can we have a
speaking of them,
Blaze? Yeah. go ahead.
Speaking of that, like the Council of Eggmen are kind of just all right to me. Most of them are fairly annoying. The main Eggman with the toupee is the one that carries, but even then, I'm just like, I wish we had a regular Eggman.
I know.
What's
And
Eggman
we
like?
already, I was gonna say that I want him, but I said Nega, N-E-G-A. I just want to point that out.
Yes.
No one's
You
canceling me. No one's clipping
emphasize
that.
it.
What's that? How do you spell it?
N-E-G-A.
Ooh, what's he saying?
We go
I don't
through
want
this
to be
shit.
clipped.
Oh my god.
actually,
we
you
go
know
through
what?
No,
this.
this is the internet. You've already
You
been
know what?
clipped.
No. Clip it, post it, use an AI voice to just have me say the most heinous things about that Eggman.
Reality
Just
can
do
be
it.
whatever I want.
Just as long as it's funny, I don't
You
care. at
say
this point.
anti-Eggman or something.
Yeah,
The
anti-
anti. Oh my
You know
god.
what I mean when I say Eggman.
Wait, yeah.
Hey,
But
wait,
I-
that didn't sound right.
I felt like we already got, you know, a good alternate version, and now we get these. What? There's 6 or 7 of them.
There's 5 of them.
Five,
There-
potentially
there's,
more.
like- It felt like more because some of them were just so annoying. Like Zoomer Eggman's annoying, Weeaboo Eggman's annoying. The baby is just
The baby
insufferable.
is actually hurts my ears.
Yeah, that one's just dumb.
I didn't
And
like
I'm
how
just
the
like,
What is
baby
it
was
about
so
Baby Eggman
prominent.
that you- What is
Yeah.
it about Baby
And
Eggman
he's-
that you guys didn't like?
The whole babble and just every time
That's
he
his
appears.
name, remember?
You know what would have made it better if he at least had like subtitles. To, you know,
I didn't like
be-
that the baby was so OP.
Yeah, he was like the
his
brawn
baby
of the
is
whole
ass.
group. It was
You know
weird.
what's
Oh,
weird?
really?
Again,
Yo.
the baby's only OP sometimes, because Sonic clapped him in the first fight they had.
Yeah.
Sonic didn't take him out of the mech. I was like,
Sonic
wait,
clapped what? The baby?
yeah,
Oh,
Oh wow.
Why did
Oh,
you
what did he
answer
clap?
respond?
he
God
clapped
dang
him.
it.
Guardcory's watching what? Not clickbait.
Quit playing. When I say clap, I'm talking about a piece. I'm not. Oh, that's not.
Oh my god. Okay, stop.
I'm
God.
talking about it. Good. Shut up.
You
Oh
ruined
my
it.
god.
Yeah, I think we could all agree. I would say that the counts of Eggman are range from okay to weak.
I'm reporting our stream.
So-
No, don't report it. I would
Damn.
agree that.
It
Well, I'll
also
elaborate on it
surprised-
later, but I get what
It
you mean.
really surprised me that like every world didn't come with their own Eggman. Like there was no pirate Eggman.
That's what I was
There was
saying.
Well,
Jungle
now you're
Eggman.
getting into stuff I'm going to talk about later. I
Yeah.
feel like I might
I
already
won't-
have a
I won't
tinfoil
get
hat
it- I won't
reasoning
get
for
into
that.
at the moment, but. And then my
Nice.
last like biggest gripe was Shadow. Not because he was bad, but because
Because he wasn't
he clearly knows something, and he keeps trying to tell Sonic like keep running. You know, you gotta access the powers, and then every time he does something, he just beats the shit out of him, and he doesn't
Yeah.
offer any type of explanation. And here's a big spoiler, MM. So be warned. Ready, set, go. The series ends with Shadow essentially like punching Sonic into another dimension. Again.
What? So
Yeah.
we're talking about like Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric where Sonic or Shadow kicked each other into like a different portal.
Okay,
Yeah, kinda.
let me add
Kinda.
some context here.
But in middle of break space.
Yeah,
You know the like world between worlds he travels through. Every
I'm
time
gonna-
there's a portal.
I'm gonna
It's like-
elaborate on more
Last
stuff
dimension
later,
from
but I'll
Tekken
add
7.
some context here, just in case. What I realized with Shadow, and like, I'm not gonna dip into my tinfoil hat stuff yet, but what I realized with Shadow is what they seem like they're doing with him is basically he serves a similar purpose as Knuckles, being like a rival, no funny business kind of guy, but he's actually also like a central point to what's going on, to the point where Shadow, honestly, he just seems angry. And
we don't
so
know why.
Yeah. Some
Also-
episodes or context
here's the
clears
thing,
that up.
Shadow always looks angry. He's always never happy.
well, I mean, no, he's brooding.
explicitly
No.
angry in this.
No, so
He's
usually he's
mad
brooding.
at
Here he's
Sonic.
angry. He's like
No, listen,
actually.
listen. Remember that opening scene from Shadow the Hedgehog when he's like, when
he has a gun?
No, not that part. When he's like, he looks like he's about to kill somebody with his bare hands, he's just like shaking and mincing.
That made
That's
Ron
him.
cry, by the way.
Genuine rage.
Whole show.
Chaos Blast. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the whole. I'm like, dude, what? Just have a pop a perk, bro. Calm down.
Did it surprise anyone else that
Pop a perk?
he
You heard
hides
me.
the Chaos Emeralds in rocks? Like
Well,
I'm
I
pretty
think he
sure
was
he
trying to-
left one there intentionally.
Did
I don't
it?
think he was
Because
looking.
he looked like he was
for it.
just
I think
trying to
he's
find it.
He
I
looked
know
like
he
he's
was
like,
looking for a Chaos Emerald,
yeah.
but I also
He hit a rock. I'm
He,
like,
he
he's like,
found a Chaos Emerald. That was how he got
Yeah.
into Shatter Space.
But
But I
the-
think he. Oh,
I think he put it there. He's like, fuck, what rock did I put it in?
I don't know, bro.
I honestly think that he knew what Eggman was trying to do, but didn't tell anybody.
He just
And
decided
I'm
to
like,
be the
if you
show.
know this thing is
Sonic.
here,
Did it? In the beginning, it just seemed like he was just looking for them, like a Dragon Balls kind of thing, where they're
No,
just kind of scattered.
remember-
But there's
remember
no
before?
Dragon Ball radar, but for Chaos Emeralds. at
Well,
least.
Yeah.
I mean, Knuckles
Most of
consents
the
to
time.
Master Emerald. It wouldn't be surprising if Shadow consents to Chaos Emerald.
Well,
Knuckles
he never has been.
signaled energy.
Why else would he say, "Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?" If he could just
Where's
sense it.
Damn.
Well,
yeah, you
more
know
like a
what?
general direction kind of thing. But that's actually that's true. That's nice and iconic.
I'm just saying that was a little weird. That doesn't impact it, but overall, I think the strongest point so far is the concept. So if this ends up becoming like the basis of their next game, I like the idea of like free traveling through different, types of different versions of Sonic's world and different characters with their own, unique abilities and whatnot.
I'm glad you said that.
I also like the dedication of like how each character is different. They're not just like, "Hi, I'm Tails with the pirate hat." Like, what was his name? Sails. I like that his name was actually Sails. That actually made me
That was
laugh.
funny to me. That
was probably the hardest I laughed. He's like, something like, "Cut it out, Sails." I'm like, "Oh fuck, that's funny."
Yeah,
It's
it
actually
wasn't just that though. If you're watching it with the subtitles on, when it said Sails Tails after he gets like knocked across the deck, that was what killed me.
So like, and then something I did like, but was still kind of confused, so like how he gets new gear every world, like in the pirate
Kingdom Hearts
world.
logic.
The
That's your answer.
transforming
Kingdom Hearts
like
logic.
gloves and
I
stuff.
guess. But I mean, Kingdom Hearts logic would solely just be like, oh, he gets a new outfit. He becomes Pirate Sonic, but...
Is that not an outfit? That motherfucker doesn't wear clothes.
Well, that's like his Keyblade, his shoes.
Yeah,
That's the
shoes
thing,
and
too.
gloves. They
it's
just
also-
they
I see
adapt
what
to whatever
you
role
mean.
he's in, I guess.
He didn't have to earn it by like, oh my god, Jack Skellington gave me the pumpkin Keyblade. He just...
Exactly.
Tails
he
just
just
made it
had
for
it.
him.
So yeah, I guess so. It was KH logic, but without the whole rigmarole of like, beat Oogie Boogie. They're like, here you go.
It was
They
just
don't say
Tails
how,
being
he doesn't even
Tails.
know how he gets it, so I'm hoping that gets explained. I do like that because again, my biggest like theory is that this is going to be the basis of the next game. So if getting new gear like what they originally planned on for 06 happens, I'm all for that. Then my biggest negatives again are just like the Eggman, the lack of mechanics being explained when it comes to the whole shards, and kind of the repetition. Because again, not even Sonic knows how why he keeps going to random worlds, and we don't know if he knows how to gather them all without teleporting again.
Pretty sure he doesn't.
Yeah.
He got somewhat of an inclination in the jungle world where he had to grab it with a leaf. Or,
Yeah,
foliage.
there's some stuff being
And
figured
I'm
out,
gonna
but
make
not
another
entirely.
prediction. Well, actually, no. I'll save the prediction for when we talk about what we expect
Yeah,
from the
prediction
next season.
stuff.
but,
We'll save it for later.
Overall, the beginning half is kind of weak, but as soon as he goes back to New York City, that thereon is a lot better than the first half.
Hold on, be right back.
So, I'm positive overall. I've just had my annoyances that I hope are fixed. It's definitely a better show than say,
Sure.
Boom. Though Boom is way funnier already. Boom is genuinely hilarious.
Boom. Yeah, you're
The
right.
TV show.
It is. I love it.
It is very, very
No,
funny.
all of the Boom franchise is hilarious, but only one of those things is funny for the reason it wanted to be.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and just to kind of harp back on another talking point, the action was pretty good, and there was quite a bit of it, which I enjoyed.
Genuinely
I was very
surprising
appreciative of
how
that.
much action there was in this.
I'm
honestly.
hoping that also kind of taps in. I'm hoping we're in this new era of Sonic where combat is just more than just a spin dash or a homing attack.
he actually fights.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I forgot to bring this back when we were talking about Frontiers. I also like how Sonic just kind of knows how to fight. He didn't have to ask anyone or learn. He just does all these moves
Frontiers was
just
kinda
by
weird for
intuition.
that.
I thought I didn't think it was odd, but I'm like, oh, I don't care. He's just doing what he's got to do.
Yeah, it was said for a long time that Sonic should be able to fight.
It's very reminiscent of the Flash, especially in his comics. He kind of just knows how to fight. He's like, if I just move really fast, I can just be effective in that regard. So I think Sega kind of took that talking point. Oh, one more negative. I'm sorry. Ronald, I'm about to rip the copium IV out your veins.
Oh, boy,
Oh my
would.
God.
I think we're forever doomed for non-Sonic games just to have very forgettable / mediocre music. There was no single track I could hum to you. You could take the gun to my
What,
head
out of
right now
Prime?
and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're sing the opening. I'd be like, just shit me, bro.
I mean, to be honest, now
It's
you
just
mentioned it,
we're
I'm
just
trying to
never
think.
we're never gonna have good music for anything not Sonic games.
Anything not in the game.
It's sad, but I just have to accept it.
Well,
Yeah, the
because it
last
feels
one
like
that happened was,
anything.
Sonic X.
Yeah, and even then those were
Yeah.
kind of generic
Well, Sonic
I
has
can't
some like
explain it.
pretty like memorable
They were
tunes.
whatever.
They're
If they
really
weren't
memorable.
like callbacks to the games, they were just kind of like
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
typical background music for what you would hear in like some anime.
Well, it's usually what they do with anything not the games. It's like intense orchestral.
I was
stuff.
hoping we'd get something. I mean, how do you not want a good music in a Sonic game?
Because then
when
everyone
it-
would have been
when it-
mad about a Green Hill Zone remix for like the 20th time.
I wouldn't care. In fact, I don't even think
Yeah.
there. Well, actually, I think there was one, the very beginning, where he's like, "Yo, this is Sonic, and I'm here at Green Hill Zone." I think
There
there was
is-
something to that effect,
There is
But
one.
There is
again-
one notable remix that's in the show.
but that's
And
it.
It is a non sequitur. The entire scene is a non sequitur, but it's there.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was.
I will. So
I will.
I'm just saying
don't
that
worry.
I'm a little upset. Not to say like there was any, Dark Brotherhood type tracks, but it was just so forgettable.
There should have been.
I wish there was. Imagine that's bumping.
Should have been
Oh my God,
Tails'
what-
ringtone. That would have been great.
One of the universes they go to is the Chronicles universe, and
I
they go to
hell
Central
yeah.
City.
He's like, why do I have to wait till my turn to attack? What the hell?
Don't worry about it, bro.
Ken Penders would have called them up immediately.
Oh yeah, he would have launched the nuke. But yeah, I think I'm thinking it's gonna get better. Hoping it gets better, and this is probably gonna be the basis for the next game. Boom. Flip it.
That'd actually be kind of cool, honestly.
I believe it.
I'm wondering if I should save my thoughts for after guardcory or not. Or do you
That's
really want to go
entirely
last?
I can go last. I kind of thought that you would go after us anyway, but I can go after
Oh,
you if you want.
no, go ahead then. You go ahead.
Oh, here we go.
Did
Put
you
on
want
some
your
foreboding
God.
music.
you want to do your own
Put on some
introduction?
boss music, Ronald. Here you go.
Okay,
Muting
so
my mic.
There you go, Ronald. Put on the theme for when you fight the Egg Emperor.
Alrighty, here, hold up.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
we need the
I'm
boss
excited.
music here.
It's really
Or-
good, dude.
It's not a chill time anymore.
Well, wait, hang on. You might want to save that other song because I was gonna start with my positives. And then
Oh.
move to my negatives.
All right. Well, then,
Okay.
Don't worry. I promise I will denote when I move to my negatives.
all right.
Okay, so Sonic Boom has really, really, really cool characterization with some of the characters. There are some that I'm like, Nine, I don't know what the hell you're doing here. Freaking Prim, get out of here. Rusty Rose, don't know. But like for the rest of the characters, like even what was going on with Nux and I forget what Rouge's Rebel in
Rebel
in
and
the-
Renegade.
Wait, what? No, that man's name is actually Nux.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, wait, I thought they called
It's
him
a technical
Renegade
name.
though. Or Renegade Nux, that's what it was.
Oh, was it?
yeah.
Okay. Renegade Nux and Rebel the Bat. Which, if we'd have had some episodes that followed them, I would have loved that.
They
The
need to do more with
combat-
them, honestly.
The combat was awesome, and I also kind of really liked the scene where Sonic, for obvious reasons, because he didn't live in that world, he had to teach him how to spin dash, and when they did, they just destroyed everything.
I love that was a
that's-
constant every time, actually. That was nice.
I was like, that is an amazing. That's an amazing.
Hey,
bit.
learned
I
to
love
spin
that.
dash, my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. While we're on the topic of Renegade Nux in that world, would this not have been the perfect time to introduce Sally Acorn?
It would have been. but we
Imagine.
can't because
Imagine, bro.
Holy
that's all I
frick.
wanted to
because
say.
Kinders. It's like don't trigger me with
Oh, I know.
Archie
I'm
comics
just
right
saying.
now.
We're just trying
I
to
wanna-
summon Ken Penders
You know
at
why?
every possible
I had a
moment.
similar thought too. You know what would have been the perfect thing to happen in the Pirate World? We got Scourge.
Oh
In fact,
my
they
god.
even said the word Scourge.
Yeah, that
They
actually
even said it. I was just like,
would have been.
you guys are
hilarious.
making fun of me. This sucks. But continue. Sorry about that. I forgot.
One more thing that is technically a negative before my negative, since you wanted to bring up Scourge. In the jungle world, which obviously we all looked at and was like, hey, Sonic Boom, get the fuck is Sticks? Especially considering that Nika Fetterman is actually a voice actress in the show. They turned Knuckles into Sticks. Okay. Now,
well, I don't know, man.
I think they should
No,
keep the
they turned
characters.
Knuckles into Sticks. You look at the characterization of Sticks in the show.
No, I
you
mean
look
you're
at
right,
Knuckles.
but like, should they really have tried to like mix everything like that?
They shouldn't
I'm
have done
gonna
it so
tell
quickly.
you exactly why. Because first, put on your hard hats and get out your flame shields, kids. I'm about to take out back to this pinata.
Oh
All
god.
right,
my
Ronald,
mic.
bump it. Let's go.
Okay, it sounds like
Hold on,
it sounds like
Mr.
it's gonna be some gamer
I'll wait
words
for
here.
them to change the music. They're
Hold on.
Here comes the egg guard.
words at all.
The egg guard.
So this show has problems from like a writing standpoint. Not even necessarily a Sonic standpoint, just general writing. There is so much freaking exposition. Show, don't tell. I literally watched the first episode yesterday with somebody who had never seen a Sonic cartoon before, and they had the gall to look at me and say, "Why are we watching the mid-season finale? Show me the first episode." And I said, "This is the first episode." And he was like, "Why is everybody talking about reminiscent stuff that we didn't see yet?" And I'm like, if you're a Sonic fan, you might understand, but for anybody that's just getting into it, they're just gonna have to take that beating. I don't know, man. We spend so much time with Sonic emoting about Tails, not remembering him when he gets to New York City. Oh my freaking god! Like the reaction that he had to Tails being able to be strong enough to build himself 7 mechanical tails had more reaction than when he saw roboticized Amy. And I was like, wow, that's a cardinal sin for somebody that has been consuming Sonic products since like '93. Like, this is like the sword of Damocles hanging over your head. And you see that, and that's something that for me, I was like, oh, that's disgusting. She's a literal robot slave now. This fool did not care. Barely had any reaction to it at all. I don't really know why they chose to go that route, especially considering he never really, like, the worst he does is like, "Oh, Amy," and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Why'd
Then
you
we
say
move
it like
on to-
that?
What?
Oh, Amy. Why'd you say it
Because
like
it's not like a moan. It's like, oh man, I'm sorry. It was like that.
Well, he does
was like,
like literally say that's seriously messed up.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he does something that I'm like, okay, the action is there where he's like, "I'll show you what happens when you mess with my friends," and he destroys the hamster ball. But I was like, bro, you emoted more for like other characters in the show, both in this episode and in later episodes than that. I'm concerned about that. But like, moving on to the Egg Council, the council
Chaos
of
Council.
crackheads or whatever.
The council
When they
crackhead.
said that they literally said cut him open for energy extraction. And I'm like,
That's edgy.
that is edgy. And it also doesn't make any sense because you know that the way to get energy is to basically use some type of like siphoning tool. What would you be cutting out of him? You're just like extracting it with some type of freaking like what the hell are you doing? And then
I think you're taking that a little too literal.
The-
I
yeah.
totally understood that.
that is what they said.
Because they also later said like, I'm gonna keep you in the hamster ball, see how much energy I can take out.
Yeah, they were doing all the tests
dead.
and everything, but potato, tomato, I don't know, man.
No,
But-
but the particular scene says that, plays super edgy music, and then shows that creepy looking machine
Where's our
advancing on
pieces, by the way,
Sonic.
Ronald?
They clearly intended to cut this motherfucker open. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Wait, hold on, what,
You
Michael?
wouldn't-
I said, where is our music, by the way?
Oh, wait, you guys
It's
can't
up.
hear it?
No.
Oh, darn.
There we
my
go.
bad.
Continue. That
It's
was more
been playing
good.
this whole time.
It's like, that you wanna know how little sense that makes? This dude basically shares the same power grid as the rest of your city, and you're trying to play around by cutting him open. Imagine an engineer trying to fix the power grid of like your region of the city. But to do that, they cut open the transformer to extract electricity. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I mean, also, they barely even understood their own power source.
Which tells me that Eggman is actually an idiot. Which I'm like, why is he stupid in this? Is he supposed to be though?
Considering that he has the IQ of 300, you would think he would be
And a
very
feminist.
knowledgeable. You would think he'd be knowledgeable.
According to that same Sonic Heroes booklet, I've read it many times.
I mean, but still though, why is he stupid? But like, that's speaking of stupid anachronisms that don't make any sense. In the third episode, Sonic is supposed to collect rings, right? That's why he's late, because he's supposed to be collecting rings. They all collecting rings. Did they advance on this place not as a full unit? They would have been able to save Sonic from getting clocked by Shadow if they'd have just gone with him. Why didn't they? like they treat it like Sonic is the one that is irresponsible, going to get the one item that you need to not die. And they're like, why are you late? Well, how long does it take you to pick up rings? Why didn't you go with him? This is especially weird because he actually had reasons for being late. He got jumped by Shadow.
Oh.
Like, why do you blame him for that?
One more thing, I'm sorry, I'm being Umbucho here.
No,
I
it's fine.
do like that it's the first Sonic series, to my recollection, that involves a plot point of Sonic being late. I just like looked at Ronald immediately.
Looked at me, I looked at you.
Wow.
I looked at you.
I don't know why y'all both look at each other like you're both not always late to everything ever.
Okay, but look, man, this ain't about us.
I was late a few times.
But
I'm late all the time, and you know this. Like, this ain't just you two. This ain't just me. This ain't
Especially
just
our friend group, Ronald is that plot point for
my
Sonic.
god.
I'm wondering whether or not I'm going to like address all this now or later. But
Continue.
I'm
done being Mecha Omich now.
I thought part of the point of all that was, I mean, one, now we're doing like shoulda, coulda, woulda, and also like filling in like logic gaps of like, well, maybe they already had rings. Who freaking knows? I don't know. But either way, I thought that was the kind of the point that they're setting across, is that Sonic is like careless and like just does stuff.
Well, if that's the case, then why didn't they loan him some of their damn rings?
I don't know. Do we know how the rings
Why wouldn't you want the heavy to be fully kitted out before you go to attack?
They pull the rings out of their dimensional pockets, like, all right, Sonic, here you go. You got to be ready next time.
Considering, I hate that I have to bring this up, but considering Sonic 06 had those stupid ring bombs, and you can literally use rings as currency, yeah, you should be able to use them like that.
Yeah.
Especially because in Sonic Sat AM, other people throw him rings to use.
And Sonic X, yeah, Sonic X as well.
Except he only needs one ring to like become OP. Which
In
is
Sonic X, the rings are like a really rare, supposed to be like a rare commodity that he eventually doesn't even need anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make any damn sense. And aside from that, aside from him getting jumped and being late to the party and everybody shitting on him, why did Shadow attack him instead of talking to him? If he knew something, he should have said something. Like, why? What? Who walks up? It's like, hey, I need to holler at you, bang, and then you start beating the shit out of him. You either you are on 10 and you said you finna mash up this man's face.
I want to do that
or
for
you actually have something to talk about. Shadow. Almost every character is a victim of this, but Shadow is a victim of poor writing. Holy crap!
He's an angry guy.
He had no reason to just walk up on this man and be like, wow, and just not say anything. But that is the reason that all of this crap happens. Because if Shadow had just said, hey, don't do that, you're gonna cause a chaos, maybe he would have listened. Maybe
in the beginning, does he even actually know? I thought he doesn't actually know what's gonna happen until like the explosion. And he was just being aggressive because they already hint at the fact that like they have this rivalry going on, and Shadow's just like, you can already tell that Shadow doesn't even like how Sonic like goes about his typical behavior, because it seems like anytime Sonic's around, Shadow's just like not happy.
Yeah, that's fine, but Shadow clearly knows something, because he was like, why did you create that big explosion? Why didn't he talk to him instead of just attacking him? Especially because that particular type of behavior you're describing runs completely counter to when he's trying to talk to him while he's running. He's like, you need to keep running fast. Is then the reason that he's saying this? So that he's like, you need to keep running fast. Why? Just do it. And when he gets to the end, Shadow just punches him in the face, which is actually what happens at the end of the story.
That was very jarring.
Yeah, well, and again, I'm gonna get into that in a little bit, but I think I know why now. Because throughout the show, Shadow's like trying to communicate with him, and obviously, like, they can't have a consistent communication, because every time he tells them keep running, something happens, and either Sonic does keep running or he gets interrupted in some way. But then later on at the end, things are clearly not like all together anymore, which seems to be where all of this anger Shadow has is like actually let out, and we're probably gonna like see more discourse about it. But again, I'll get into that more in a
My
second.
response to that is, if ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk. I'm not dealing in ifs. I'm dealing with what I see on the screen.
I saw rings flying for Ronald when he hit them with that.
I'm not dealing with ifs, man. I'm dealing with why did the writing do this? It doesn't make any sense.
That is a fair
If
point.
it's something that leaves you with more questions than answers, especially when characters that you're dealing with have the answers, just give them the answers or remove them from the scene. Like, one or the other. As an actual writer, this hurts me to have to deal with. Because I'm like, now people are gonna see this and think, yeah, this totally makes sense, when it doesn't. I swear to God, it kills it attacks you on a critical thinking level. Like, because if you take the time to start asking these questions, then the story falls apart. It's a problem. It's a huge problem. And
Alright,
I'm not
this
even
is all
close
making
to
sense
being
now.
done.
Why you feel this way?
Phase 2.
I'm not even close to being done.
No, keep going. In fact, I'm gonna cue another song.
This is episode 3, by the way. In the same episode, it starts with a freaking recap to remind the audience of what happened. I don't know if you know this, but people that watch Netflix generally tend to binge what they're watching. So why would you need this? This isn't running on like a weekly track. Like,
Wait, is it a recap, or are they just
series
showing
could've
things in
been
different
picked up.
perspective?
It could have been, and I really, really wish it had, because it going to Netflix, it's like, guys, you're gonna need to write for Netflix format, because there's so much. Every episode has some weird recap thing, and I'm just like, stop doing that.
I think
Stop, you're
most-
wasting time, stop.
Most shows have that, right? And on Netflix, you can
Yeah,
skip the
Pokemon.
recap.
But
Well,
this-
that's what I'm
this
saying.
one
I don't think this show
This
even
one
did.
didn't give you the
Like,
option.
I don't think this show did a Netflix recap. I think it literally was just retelling a different perspective.
But it was like less than a minute, to what I recall.
Yeah, it didn't
It wasn't
even
very
link it.
long.
Something that's like, why am I seeing this again? I just saw this. I'm sorry, am I watching the original dub of Ranma 1/2? You don't need to do that. We are far and removed from that. You don't need to do it.
Let's not take works of art into vain.
I love Ranma 1/2. It's the first
Yeah,
anime I
I'm
ever
gonna
watched.
switch songs.
But
here.
Hell yeah.
it was limited by its medium. And I
Yeah.
say that to say this. The recap is literally happening when he's in the middle of a fight. It starts with Rusty Rose trying to kill him. She pins him to a wall, and then she reels back like she's gonna punch a hole in his head. Why is he having a recap at that time? Like,
'Cause
what's wrong with you, bro?
It's dramatic,
feels
bro.
good.
Me, you're wondering how
Yeah, I think it was
got
meant to be dramatic, honestly.
it did have that kind of vibe where it's like, yo.
But it's not just that the episode starts with a recap. Sonic has his brain flash reset for the first part of every episode. He acts like he hasn't already established who Nine and Rusty and everybody else are. I am questioning if every episode has Sonic dealing with a dent to the skull. Because he does it in every episode. I am not kidding.
He does have a dip to his skull.
And I'm just
Time
like,
travel, I mean, going through the multiverse will mess up with your head, apparently.
Sonic in the multiverse of man. Also, in that same episode, this is just a minor gripe, but there is this slow motion scene that happens where it's like, you remember the movie of Armageddon where the dudes are walking to the spaceship so that they can blow up the meteor or whatever.
Yeah.
They do that in the show, but the problem is, once again, urgency. They're walking super slow, and Sonic realizes they're walking super slow, and he speeds up, but they're still walking at the same speed. Except there's a wall of robots coming at them and a wall of robots behind them. What was the visual gag for? It's not funny. It just makes me be like, they want to die. They want to get out of this bad writing as much as I do.
I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a joke.
Oh my god, it pissed me off. But after that happened, that's when the spin dash scene happened. I was like, yo, that's kind of sick. Do it more, and they did. They did it almost every episode, and I'm like, thank you for that. I'm not mad at this particular scene. But then episode 4 happens, and you remember that thing I said about Sonic having a dent to the skull?
Yes.
Imagine if you go from a giant post-apocalyptic city where everything is either gray, red, or a gun, and then you fall out of the sky and you're on a giant wooden canopy and there's nothing but trees with no leaves around. He doesn't immediately be like, okay, this is in New York City, and he's still talking to these people, like He's still talking to Prim and Mangy, and I forget their names, but he's still talking to them like they're the people he just saw. But they're wearing different clothes, they're acting differently, they do not have the weapons they had before, and they don't recognize him. Why do they make me wait for him to realize he's not in the right place?
Sonic isn't
You
smart.
think after
Sonic
like the
isn't
first two
smart.
episodes, you'll be
Straight
like,
up. He's never been that
Yeah,
bright.
earlier when I was
Yeah.
with Michael, I was trying to think of a way to
Right.
phrase it, but that might actually be the case here. That's
I'm pretty
Sonic's
sure
just kind
that's
of dopey.
intentional.
I actually
Yeah,
have,
honestly.
I actually have an answer for this. So, I don't know if y'all know who Man of Action is.
I do.
It's the
Yeah,
studio
the guy
that
in
worked
the-
on this show. And I have a theory. They only know how to write one character. Benjamin Kirby Tennyson. Because that is straight up some shit he would do. Like, that is what I feel like they're doing. They don't know how to write a character that doesn't act like him.
Yeah, I
don't
suppose.
know.
I suppose Ben 10 does have some Sonic qualities to him.
Yeah, unfortunately. Or rather, this Sonic has some Ben 10 qualities to him.
Yeah, this is Sonic 10. He's gonna go to 10 universes. Yo, we cracked the code.
got the code. Well, wouldn't it be 7?
No, now it's 10.
10
And, like,
Sonic
Well, he needs
universe.
to go to the Chronicles universe.
Yeah, that's gonna be the last one.
It would be nice if he went to the Chronicles universe because it would wash away Captain Planet the episode.
Yeah.
Episodes 4 and 5. I'm like, yo, what? Why did you do this? Why did you do Captain Planet so badly? Like, so all of a sudden you're telling me this man cares about plants. I don't believe it. I especially don't believe it because even in that episode they especially show him a tree, which Amy gifts him his own memories. Why does Amy gift him his own memories? That just sounds like a gift from a bad friend. But everybody else is there and it's like, oh, remember our memories together. And I'm like, that's not how humans work. Normally, you would say to your friend, "Yo, this beach is pretty lit, right? Remember when Chet accidentally set his arm on fire and then like fell into those coconut crabs? Yeah, that was pretty funny. I hope this never ends." That's how humans work, remembering those memories organically. But the show wants to spend so much time expositing, but filling it up with a bunch of visual things. And I'm like, that's cool. I love the action. The characterization, the character storytelling is not there. They spend so much time with like weird characterization that don't make no sense, especially considering that I don't know what the hell happened, Amy and those 4 other individuals, but you cannot convince me that these motherfuckers ate all of the plants in that canopy. It's not possible. Even with Big the Bottomless Pit, it is not a possible thing to do. Like, they are not committing deforestation, or they're not working in deforestation. It's just not a thing. It's not gonna be a thing for 5 people.
Sonic though has always had an environmentalist.
But it's
Yeah.
always been treated better. The reason why that happens is because in those stories, Dr. Eggman is industrialized, and he's literally sticking animals into machines to work for him. That is a proper environmental message. Just saying, oh, it's bad to use all the resources. It's like, no shit, bro. You want to know how people know that? Because when you use up all the food, then you die. Any idiot could figure that out without being told that. What are you talking about?
I will say that world desperately needed like an Eggman parallel
Yes.
to drive that home.
I want to save it for like what we wanted to happen, but it didn't happen. What I wanted to happen was that instead of that, Eggman literally had them working for him, and Amy just couldn't take it anymore. That would have made more sense. Because what they did to Thorn, I was like, yo, what is this character assassination? Why is she just on 10 now? She wants to kill them all. I was like, Jesus, why?
He didn't really want to kill him. He just kept booting them out of there.
She specifically is trying to kill them.
Well,
Like,
she
she
didn't
even
want them messing with the
says-
forest. That's why she keeps golfing them out of the thing.
Yeah, I know. And you want to know what my favorite thing about all this is? When Sonic basically says to them, because nobody can listen to a damn plan, suddenly everybody is Sonic. Violence never solves anything. Some idiot who forgot what Sonic does, I think. That's a line that Sonic says to characters in the show. It's like,
Well, because throughout
get
this
it.
entire show, that's
don't
actually what he's
get it.
doing. He's constantly just trying to reason with people. He's a little slow in the uptake, but that's actually his default plan. Is trying to
his
reason with
default
everybody.
plan. But some of those people are not willing to listen. And they probably would have been if other people hadn't have been like, her guard is down, get her! It was like, oh, the only reason that you had them do that was so that you could push this message. That's not very good writing. Oh my god. Oh, I got ahead of my notes. Where the hell? Oh, okay. Wow, I was really, really mad. I can't say that. I can't say that on stream.
What you needed to say.
I will, but I need to figure out how to word that because I can't say that on stream.
I mean, this is a rated soft R stream, so
You need a bleep machine, Ronald.
I can have the bleep button ready, but
whatever. I already figured out how to. I'll just skip it because it's a lot. I'm just gonna. Oh, the last thing that I want to talk about, episode 5. Like, this whole message is straight up like, don't deforest, don't eat the forest, right? So, like,
I guess
it's okay for Amy to eat the forest. It's okay for Birdie to eat the forest.
I thought the point was they were trying to like show that friends should be able to try to like reconcile with each other and like have a reasonable discussion.
Also,
perhaps the end goal. Oh, go on.
What was funny about that whole setting, this is somewhat related, is that it had a very, has anyone played Shin Megami Tensei 4?
Oh my god.
I've seen it.
Shin Megami Tensei 5, but not 4.
Well, 4 has a very similar setting to that, where like the new like nobles live above the world, and they're like blocked off from the modern day world at the bottom. It had a weird dichotomy similar to that. I just thought that was kind of funny. But go on.
So moving on from that, I don't have a whole lot of other notes left because seriously, episodes 4 and 5 were the worst ones. But friggin' episode 6, it starts off Sonic's trying to defend 9. He's like, oh, he's not a traitor. I'm like, they just told you that he took the shard and he didn't even try to save them. He just left. That is the very definition of betrayal. Stop simping over 9. He's not a very good friend. He literally tried to take you away from the people that were trying to fight for their freedom because he wanted to live somewhere else. Something Rick Sanchez does. Stop!
Rick Sanchez?
Oh no. He's turned to Jarrell Overlord.
Okay, well, I gotta find even more menacing Final Boss theme. Hold on.
Whoa. Go off.
I don't care what anybody says. That is a Rick Sanchez move, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
I didn't even think about that.
God. Sanchez. And then like they're like, oh, when they bring the tree back up again, I'm like, why is the tree even relevant to the Resistance? Is it the last tree in existence? What is it gonna do something for them? Is it the key to de-roboticization? Why is it here? They
Wait,
had it
the
in
tree in New York City?
Yeah, they had it in a freaking Nora freeze tube.
Yeah, I thought that's just them like holding on to like the remnants of how everything used to be. I thought it was supposed to be like a symbolic reminder or whatever.
I thought it was a symbolic of hope.
They legit just said like remember, like I forgot what they said exactly, but it was like remember how things used to be or whatever.
But
it was meant to be symbolic, I thought.
In their fighting, they didn't need the tree there. The tree was for Sonic more than anyone else. It's not like they had the tree to remind them of hope. Sonic did that. That was when he knocked all those robots out of the New York Tower. They were like, "Hey, look, it's that blue hedgehog." And after that dust up, that was what they said. They mounted a resistance because of what happened there. And yeah, Prem says we did it without you, but all of those animals that saw him were like, "Hey, he's fighting against them," and it's very clear reason that would be the reason that they would do it. Not because of a damn tree. What did the tree do?
Well, I thought it was there like before, like in the beginning when he got there, because they showed it.
But they didn't have the Resistance didn't have all those members. Sonic's actions caused them to join.
And plus he was gone for 2 weeks during their time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, only 2 weeks?
Yeah. He thought he was only gone for a day.
Yeah, different time, passages of time or whatever.
Oh, wow. 2 weeks.
But yeah, the tree was, well, because it was there, like, before, and then with all the new members, they showed it again.
Oh, I didn't know the tree was there before. If it's there before,
I thought it was there before.
I said I didn't know. I forget the term that's used, but it's supposed to be like the one consistent, like, thing that's in every single universe. There's a
Yeah, they do it with multiple things, I think, actually.
One consistent universe, like
But that's
loop.
it's like
Singularity?
There's a term for it. Yes, it's that. It's that singularity point. It's that actual palm tree. That's what they hint at, anyways.
Well, yeah, but they have multiple things to hint at that.
Well, of course they do.
Again, I thought it
Anyway.
was meant to be symbolic, motivating or whatever, but
It's not a very good symbolic motivator, is what I'm saying. It
Gotcha.
does nothing, and it really only represents nothing except to Sonic the character.
Bro, Ronald, what is wrong with this Gray Fox person? They post like insane porn in your chat.
Wait, what? Whoa, which one?
Wait, are you talking about
What?
Are you talking about the channels? Wait, what are you talking about?
Are they posting in general, bro?
No, it's not in
I'm-
general.
I'm almost done, then you can talk about that Gray Fox porn. Episode 7. That's right. Episode 7, I have almost no notes about. I
Oh,
almost have
no.
no notes about episode 8. But
Why
episode
did I look
7,
at it?
I'm just kind of like,
Wait, you have no notes about episode 8? That's surprising, actually.
I actually didn't. I don't know if I was just tired or if it
Actually,
didn't.
the song's
There was
too
nothing left to
upbeat.
ring out because like episode 4 and 5 really pulled it out of me. But like when he's getting missed by the pirates and he's running away from them, I'm like, my dude, you are faster than all of these idiots. Just take their swords. What are you doing? Why are you playing around with them? Why are you at all afraid of them? Take their swords. They are not gonna freaking. They're not gonna hurt you. They can't do that. You're better than them. Jesus.
And he's not like gonna just go full aggro on these people that look like his friends.
Just take their swords. You don't have to hurt them.
But that's a fair point.
Why are
But
you
the
trying to
other
put so much
thing,
logic into this show, dog? This is like most of your complaints.
but the problem is that there are other times where they show him doing feats that would suggest he could do that. It's not my fault that I'm putting logic in where they already showed it.
That's a
Like
fair
if you
point.
show somebody doing something, you have to consistently show that. Otherwise, you're committing ludonarrative dissonance. Like what the shit? Anyway,
I'm
sorry, those two remarks from Riley are cracking me the fuck up, dude. Who's this Gray Fox guy? He's supposed to be insane for
the thing with Knuckles, the thing with the Dread Pirate was super jarring. Why was it like he
Why
met
was
the
he not
third
Scourge?
Knuckles-
I know.
Why was he not?
Why was he not Scourge? That would have been better. But I love Dread Knuckles. But when he sees him, he immediately has a flashback to the first time he met Knuckles.
That was kind of
What?
weird that they decided to do it then.
Yeah,
Right.
and I
What?
loved the remix that they used for the temple, but I was like, why? What is happening here? And then like Sonic already had said, I will do whatever the captain says. Finds out that this is the captain and immediately takes one of their swords, which I suggested he do in the first place, and then was like, I'm not taking any chances. I'm like, but the captain you just said you follow what the captain said. What is wrong with you? Are you once again suffering from a dent to the skull?
At this
Yes.
point, with everything we talked about, it might actually be a possibility.
I swear to God. But episode 8, the only things I had was, did he forget he had hover shoes? Like, why was he worried about getting thrown into the water again? You already saw that you could float, bro. Just float. It's fine.
He doesn't like the water.
I know
He's
he doesn't
afraid,
like
bro.
the water, but he has hover shoes, and he
Yeah,
knows this.
Still doesn't like it.
I will say that part kind of made me wonder, like, what part of his timeline, if this is in fact canon, take place? Because I'm wondering, has he not run on water already, or not?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
That did kind of
considering
confuse
this
me.
is like not a part of the timeline.
But
because
then
there's so many
again, well, the whole running on water logic, is it like the physics thing where he has to like already have momentum and whatever? I don't know, bro.
Well, he can
he's
still
already-
gain it. He can move his legs fast enough to boost up from the water. We've seen it.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
I'm also wondering, what first game can Sonic run on water? Or at least
I don't
has.
know.
Sonic Advance 3?
Advance games. No,
Oh,
Advance 1. Yeah,
Wait,
Advance
do you know
1.
Actually,
Advance 1?
No, I think it's. Is it 3 or is it?
I
I'm
thought
thinking
it's
of
3,
Mania.
because I thought in 1 and 2 he
I
can't.
thought it was Hydra City that he does it.
Hold on, let me check. Let me check.
Ooh.
can
I
always
was
check.
just
yeah,
trying to
he
think about
does
it.
run on water in Hydro City. but he
Wait,
has, like,
well,
a
I thought
booster
those
for
were
that.
like
Yeah,
automated
is that weird?
sections.
Arm
Can he do it
booster, yeah.
consistently?
Yeah,
Oh, well, yeah,
Allows him
Sonic
to do
the
it.
Hedgehog 3,
He does do it, but he has a booster that allows
okay.
him to do that.
But
Yeah,
he
I thought
doesn't.
it was just automated sections, but we can say Sonic. We can say Sonic 3.
Sonic 3 by like means of like a device, and then by boosting himself, I think it's Unleashed, right? That you first
Well,
throw in the
even
water.
in Advanced
no
3,
water.
he
There
does
was
it
something
before then.
that, though.
Yeah, Advanced 3.
Oh,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Advance. Actually, Advance 2 doesn't have water stages. My bad.
So I think it was Advanced 3.
Hold on, let me check
Yeah.
Advance 1.
Dang, Advanced 3 the GOAT.
Oh, okay. I guess
Advance 3 is definitely the GOAT. I will admit that. I will admit that. I will say is fact.
Well,
I guess
now
I'm
we're
right.
getting even more into the speculation of like when and how this would take place.
Yeah.
But
That wasn't
Riley's
necessarily
right. This is a
negative
lot
for
of
me, but I
there's
was
a
just
lot of
more so
logic going on here.
curious.
I have one last thing to state, which is a positive, actually. It was the one time in the show I laughed out loud, just
Alright.
uncontrollably.
Sonic Heroes theme, Ronald, bump it.
Okay.
Really? You're gonna do it? It's not that long.
I don't care. Because
Okay,
Ronald's gonna
I'll
go
wait.
next, and it's gonna be his gallant return.
Oh
I'll
my
wait.
God.
Okay, so it's the scene when Rusty Rose and I forget her pirate name.
Ooh, Rouge or
No,
No,
Amy
Amy.
Pirate.
Ruby
When
Rose.
wait, there
What is
wasn't.
Ruby Rose.
Oh wait,
It
there
was
wasn't.
Ruby
any
Rose.
pirate. Yeah,
Which is
I think it was.
yeah,
Ruby.
I feel like that's referencing like two things at once.
It is actually.
Yeah.
Both like Ruby Heart from NPC2 and Ruby Rose from Ruby.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, when Rusty Rose and Ruby Rose, I guess, see each other, there's this spark that goes on, and friggin' Batten is like, "Hey, is it me, or does she look a little like you?" And like, friggin' Rusty Rose is already tied up, right? And friggin' Tails looks at her and is like, "Maybe we should tie her up," and that shit kills me. I was like, what the hell, man?
Oh well, B-boy, you're right. Huh.
Was
Actually, what's the first time he treads on water? Huh.
decent memory sometimes, I guess. Sorry, this has been a lot to process, and now I'm gonna have even more talking points for when I talk about.
Oh, here we go.
As long as
It was-
I don't have to do any more major talking, I'm tired.
Well, I mean, is there any other major points that came to mind
Not-
for you?
not a thing.
or-
Go on, please go. Please do
I think,
things.
I think that's pretty thorough.
I'm out of energy.
I was a four-face boss fight.
I'm out of energy, bro.
Okay, I'm going back to the chill music now. So maybe it is good that I was last because
Yes.
honestly, I considered this a pretty enjoyable show overall. And like for additional context, I saw this with my wife, who I still have yet to like introduce her to the series as a whole. But lately, it's a work in progress. But lately with
You
the
even love her?
franchise,
Jeez, bro.
wait, what?
Pretty
What?
messed up. Go on.
I'm joking.
Oh my god. With the franchise in general, like with Frontiers, even showing her Unleashed before Frontiers, and now with Prime, it's been a constant thing where my wife will see this stuff, and like she has seen bits and pieces of other things that I've introduced her to, but it's happened multiple times where she'll see this stuff, even with Prime, and she'll be like, "Dang, why this is pretty good. Why does everything else suck?" So like already there's like a level of quality that's been maintained lately, and with my wife usually like with other stuff that I like, she's not really big into like things that rely heavily on action or things that may have like a more somber tone. This was a show that I was honestly surprised she didn't consider boring. She actually enjoyed it. And for me personally, part of why I thought this show was like enjoyable overall was not like we said, not only do I think that they did a solid job with like casting and characterization for the most part. I'll get into specifics why later, what I think might have been odd. But honestly, I think what they went for with the
Ronald,
story.
the music stopped, by the way. Sorry.
Wait, it did?
Interrupt you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Honestly, what I think they went for with like the storytelling and like portrayal of the characterization that I assume they're trying to build up to I thought it was interesting because it's like a thing. It's like a mystery, ongoing mystery kind of thing. Where if the recap-ish stuff got on your nerves, I understand why. But honestly, I thought it was like with what they're trying to do, it made sense because they keep doing the back and forth, but they're showing it from different perspectives and they're sprinkling little things in a bit at a time. There could be more like exploration with like some of the characters and the certain dimensions, but I at least think what they have going with this central mystery is at least interesting. The main thing that detracts from it a bit is how they handle Sonic, because like I said, I was telling Mike when I was trying to think on the way back here, like I really don't know how else to phrase it. I guess Sonic kind of is not very smart.
But that's consistent. Even across older shows, he's kind of stupid.
Not
Yeah, but
to this extent,
Sonic is a
not
little
really.
brighter than.
Sonic's usually like sassy and like pretty gung ho, but
Do you want me to pull out the receipts? Because I can do that.
what to this extent?
So
Or Sonic's like honestly a bit of a goofball in some aspects.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's a good. Yeah, but I mean, like.
I'm not saying he's like brain dead, but I am saying that there are things that he just does not know. But he doesn't know he doesn't know them.
Right.
There are no knowns and known unknowns.
You know what I mean.
I'm trying to think of when the last time,
He's like young
aside
and
from
brash,
Boone, that
or-
he's been to this extent.
Oh, you mean like how this show just literally has him like a blank slate? I've never really seen it to this extent.
Well, that's the thing, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think either way, like with what they're trying to do, it works. It can just be a bit off-putting at times, because what you were saying about like the characterization and what they're trying to do with story, I think the general premise that I've been getting from it, it's honestly like a very anime protag-esque kind of portrayal of him, where he's like is like cocky, a very gung-ho guy, but obviously cares about his friends to some extent. But you can tell the lesson that they're trying to build up to is like building on that and like actually fully establishing his relationship with everyone. It's either slow on the uptake a bit when he goes to each world, because it takes him a while to realize, hey, you're in another world, they look like your friends, but they're not exactly your friends. But they still try to have him like consistently be this like caring guy that even if they're not actually his friends, he tries to like still care about them and also care about their dynamic with each other. Again, I thought the whole point of the like jungle thing was like more so like him trying to get them to reconcile. I don't know if it was really like an environmentalist thing. I mean, there were some aspects of it, but
that's her whole premise. That's her whole thing. And don't look at me. Look at the character. That's her whole thing.
For Thorn definitely, but I'm talking about for Sonic. Because yeah, obviously they care about the environment, but that was part of what he was doing, was just trying to get them to like just talk.
That's what he's trying to get them to do, but there is an inordinate amount of Thorn in the episode compared to the other characters.
True.
Like they clearly want that in the viewer's face. They didn't spend that much time with Pirate Amy in the pirate episode. That was all about Knuckles.
Well, that's the other thing too. Each world like has an obvious like focal point, like who's the central part of the character dynamics. The jungle area seems like it centers mostly around Thorn, golfing them out of the area. Dread. Dread is like the captain, but he's like, I don't even know if washed up would be the word, but he also has this like whole my precious thing going on at some point.
Yeah, he was terrifying.
But Sonic is like this like goofy but still caring constant throughout these worlds, like trying to like make things work. And Mike was saying earlier too about the thing with the Paradox Prism. I mean, I guess it's assumed that they need to like collect them and do something with them. But at least later on, he figures, okay, I can't touch these. But in the jungle world, it just happens to go on his face. He doesn't even like do it on purpose. So that's just like story silliness. So you can nitpick that however you want. But either way, overall, I think with how they go through each world and like the interactions between all the characters, I consider it at least like interesting. And then you put on top of that like the surprising amount of action and surprising amount of like honestly good action. Every time the baby was on the screen, honestly, it was annoying. But Sonic
No,
doing
get out of here. Go back to your crate.
yeah, like he really didn't need to exist. But the action happening was at least cool.
Baby.
And like also the other, I mean, maybe we could call them like singularities, where it's like they show it multiple times that like things have changed. Like what is that saying? The more things change, the more they stay the same or whatever. Through each thing, there is some kind of constant. The different parts of the world, or even if there's like all these different versions of his friends that aren't his friends, he rebuilds that dynamic and teaches them spin dash and like other interactions. So I consider it like at least executed in a decently entertaining manner. And I want to I'll wait till the next topic, because there was some stuff that I wanted to address with what you guys were saying about things that haven't been addressed yet, with like why Shadow and Sonic have this like these interactions the way they do, and what are they gonna do with the Paradox Prism and stuff like that. I already, this might even be me putting too much logic and forethought into it, but I'm just going off of what they seem to be implying with things, because
Ronald's choice is what's facts and logic.
well,
Whatever.
because throughout
Do it,
this,
because this gives me hope, like the palm tree.
no, again, the tree's just symbolic. I don't really think you're supposed to like take it that much more seriously.
I think the palm tree signifies that that's actually not Green Hill Zone. It's Palm Tree Panic Zone.
No,
Actually-
it signifies
Fuck
the
you.
exaggerated swagger of a black team.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna, because we keep bringing that up. I'm gonna say this now. And honestly, maybe that would be the segue. I'll cut my thoughts short, and that would be the segue into the next point. Is that I think the big thing they're implying with this is that what he did was he literally shattered their main dimension into multiple dimensions, and
Yes.
part of the point of why Shadow is like so upset with him at the end and why he says they can't go back is because there is no original world anymore.
I can't lie to you. I thought that was just writ large. I thought that was the thing of the show, because he never fell into his own universe.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that that's what they're going to be building upon later on, is figuring out what are they going to do, how are they going to get the prisons to do whatever. I don't know. But I'll be going around and like getting you guys' speculation on what may come from future episodes or how it may be related to future games. I know I said that's a good segue, but one last closing thought, because I'm just gonna say I think this is a good show. It's entertaining, story's interesting, and I'm honestly gonna keep myself from getting into nerdy ramblings until we at least discuss like story stuff. But in fact, honestly, one of my favorite parts of the show, surprisingly, was 9. Because even though he's like intended to be like the angsty, edgy take on Tails, it is still interesting of him like being this Tails that didn't have Sonic as a friend, and he's still like a mechanical genius. In fact, to the point where he makes these like transforming like shoes and gloves like just off the cuff. Like that's kind of insane, honestly.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
Do you think him being next to Sonic is what made him a genius? 'Cause
No, not what made him a genius. What made him like more edgy. Because I'm pretty sure Tails has always been smart.
him making things. That's not because of Sonic. He
No,
just
that's not even what I was
knows how
trying to
do that.
imply. I was saying like this take on Tails not being as nice or friendly of a guy because he didn't have any
He
friends.
didn't have Sonic as an older brother who was like a role model to him, so he didn't have somebody like for a good example.
Yeah, and that was part of the point of why, like, I mean, it still makes him like not very nice. Why he like left and he doesn't even want anything to do with anybody because he even like I keep forgetting the specific wording, but he even straight up says like he doesn't care about that world. There's nothing like there for him, and he's more so just fascinated with the technology that they've come across.
I have to respond to that with this. As a professional misanthrope, that is not healthy. I don't like to see that in things that are intended for children. Because again, as a professional misanthrope, it is not healthy to not want to interact with people. It is something that is scary and can make you like really, 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 really unamenable to people. And some people don't ever come out of it. Some people become like so misanthropic that they'll do things and just like not talk to people for 15 years. I'm glad that Sonic is there for 9, but I'd have rather just not had it at all. Because it just kind of comes off as the DeviantArt Tails, and it's like, listen, I see enough of that in the real world.
I mean, to be real, it basically is DeviantArt Tails, but they actually try to do something with it.
That's the next podcast, is us going through DeviantArt and just typing in Sonic characters.
Yo, let's
Dang,
go!
I'm just gonna be real, cause like,
Why did he respond with enthusiasm to that?
Dang, was there a lot of stuff about DeviantArt, like, Sonic
You
stuff
have
I did
no-
not know?
Oh god,
Sonic OC's
he doesn't-
DeviantArt is
does he know?
doesn't
He doesn't know.
Oh,
Well, I kind of do know. If you're talking about Sonic OCs and stuff, that I do know. But
Yes.
Oh
It's
god.
the gift that never stops giving. Sonic OCs, they're like death and taxes. They never stop coming.
they'll never end.
They will never die.
They'll outlast you.
The point is, like, well, when you put it that way, and depending on how deeply people look into this, yes, it's a questionable character trope. But the point is that it created an interesting character dynamic, especially with interaction with the other characters, because now you have this edgy Tails that does get his Sonic, and then seeing where things go from there. Or actually, we still have to see more because now he's captured.
So now there are 2 shadows in the show, is all I'm hearing.
Like 1.5, I guess. Because, well, I don't know. Because honestly, like, I don't know if this would be a hot take or not, but again, like I said, like, Shadow in this show kind of serves a similar role as Knuckles in the past. Whereas Knuckles now in Sonic Prime is honestly really, like, laid back and chill.
And thankfully not an idiot anymore. Thank
yeah, but
God
Shadow's
for
the angry
that.
one now.
Yes, he is.
I mean, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, Shadow being angry is kind of over the top.
Is it? I mean,
Boy,
it's not
howdy is it?
that far out of character.
I have some ideas on that, but I want to say
No.
a segment where we talk about like our, predictions / like what we think is gonna happen.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to. Wait, go ahead.
Well, from like hearing what you guys say, and I haven't watched all the episodes, but
Yeah, I don't think he meant that Shadow being angry is over the top for like Shadow. I think he meant that Shadow just being angry in this show is just like, wow, he's just always angry. And yeah, it's pretty accurate. He's less a person and more a collection of words attached to a fist.
That's fair.
Like-
And in fact, I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to think of how to. Because I want to combine what I typed in Discord into.
Y'all typing in Discord? I'm supposed to be reading?
Well,
Homework?
no, I
Hang on.
put my talking points, but I'm honestly gonna adjust them a little bit. I'm trying to take advantage of the segue here. Let's see. I'm just gonna combine it all here. We're gonna do this. So I don't think you guys can see the stream, but I'll just say it verbally for y'all. So what I want to
Oh,
do now
that's good.
is we're gonna go around And with the points that we've mentioned so far, I kind of want you guys to either dip into what you think we will see like expanded upon in the future episodes, or what you may want them to expand upon. In fact, hold on, we'll leave it at what I said. Ignore the text on the screen, because I'm gonna ask about the other thing in a second.
Are we going in order again?
So who wants to go first?
Yeah, go in Discord order again.
Alrighty, so Mr. Riley first.
Alright. I'm definitely not watching Capcom Cup, by the way. I'm not doing that right now.
Oh,
Me either.
I mean, I am.
Okay,
I was
good.
watching
We all are.
How dare you?
Oh my
I was
god.
watching this guy
Does my
and-
question make sense though, Riley?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can speculate all day, but I think, like, you know, the more obvious thing is, right, they're gonna explore other worlds. Now the question is it gonna be something original like we see in the show so far, or is it going to be something that has been taken from, you know, other Sonic games, right? Are they gonna go to like the game, you know, the modern Sonic world, or are they gonna go to like the previous shows, or whatever the case is? That's probably like the most the most likely thing to happen. Is I would imagine that they're probably going to stick to the original stuff that they're doing just to make it, you know, contained with their story and narrative. But I wouldn't be shocked if there is some, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home type episode where it's like you got all the Sonics like in one episode or something. They'll find some story way to make that possible. Would not be shocked if that's what happens. Again, hoping that the series will get far enough to allow that to happen. Because, you know, you never know with Netflix, so I would hope that it can get to a point where it can do that. Assuming, you know, that the series has room for that. I mean, I'm gonna say that they probably have already written this series. They probably already know the ending and everything.
Probably?
So adding like fan service, yeah. I mean, the writers at least have some idea of where they want to go with this. At least I hope so. So
Me too.
yeah. So I mean, like, maybe they'll squeeze some fan service in. You know, maybe something like that is in the cards. It's kind of hard to tell, right? I would say, like, you know, fan service stuff and nostalgia and all that is cool. But if it feels sort of like forced, then, you know, I would say I don't mind it not being there. So that's probably the most likely thing. You'll see other, you know, versions of different characters. Again, it would be really cool to see, like, if, you know, for example, they went to like the Sonic X world, you know, just throwing it out there. And they
Chris
have,
Thorndike returns.
yeah,
God,
something like that, right?
please, no.
Like they could play with it. They could be fun with it if they want to be. Do I think that the story would lend itself well for that? I mean, it's possible. I mean, right? Like Chris Thorndike made the weird teleporter thing
that like let him
So,
go
yeah.
to Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like out of the question that they could somehow tie it in, but I'm gonna say that's very unlikely. I'm gonna say it's much more within the case that they'll keep everything. You know, they'll probably do like, I don't know, a medieval world or something, or they'll do like I don't know, like maybe tie in with like movie Sonic if it goes on for that long enough, right? Like
That would be
for
crazy.
Sonic
Basic
movie
modern
3.
day city kind of thing.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like Human World or something, like who knows, right? It's hard to really say. But yeah, I mean, as for like where the story can go, I mean, for like what they've sort of built up from here, it seems like the anchor like world that they're gonna keep going back to is the dystopian future. It seems like, you know, everything kind of goes back to that one.
Yeah.
You know, given what we've seen so far. So I would imagine that it would continue down that road where they all kind of just go back to it. I mean, we'll kind of see like what happens. Like it seems like Nine is kind of doing his own thing. He kind of wants to go off to another planet and kind of start his own shit. So I don't know. There's lots of like loose threads that they can continue on. But yeah, I mean, I honestly I don't have too much to say about like speculation on like what could happen in the future, just because given it's a multiverse show, there's like endless amounts of things you could say that they could do, and it would make sense within the show's context.
That's a good point, actually.
The possibilities are never endless.
Yeah,
Endless
and
possibilities,
I think
actually.
that's purposeful, right? Because Sonic has so many universes that it kind of makes sense why they would want to explore some of that stuff. Again, who knows if they're actually gonna go through with exploring previously established worlds? I'm kind of doubtful, but right, I could see like some one-off nostalgia type episode where they sort of like reconcile with like old characters, or like, you know, I don't know, something like that. Like they go into like fucking Sonic Unleashed world, they go into like Sonic Boom world. Like who knows? They could pick like any one, and it would be cool. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm just interested to see like where they kind of go with that. But again, since given my thoughts already on the show, where, you know, I think it's enjoyable, but I'm not like, you know, especially blown away by what I've seen. I think my like anticipation for the next episodes is more like, you know, lukewarm than anything. It's just, yeah, you know, I'll watch it, right? You know, I'll watch it when it comes out, but I'm not like, you know, dying to see what happens next. I'm not like, you know, really hooked on it. It's just, you know, it's just kind of like it's a fun show, and, you know, I'm kind of interested to see like, you know, what they explore, what they do from here. I just really hope that it kind of ends in a way that is like just satisfying, right? Like because the I don't know if this you know, these 8 episodes is considered season 1, or they're putting out new episodes and it's going to be like the second half of season 1.
I don't know. It's really weird, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing here. I would imagine, like, if you were to ask me, I would think that these are 8 episodes, and then they're gonna do like another set of 8 or 12 or whatever the case is, because I believe they're supposed to be 24. So I would imagine that it's probably something like that. Like the 24 episodes is supposed to be the first season, and that kind of contains the whole multiverse stuff, and I would hope that would just be the series. Like, you don't need to like just keep going on for the sake of going on.
Yeah, I hope they won't pad it out for like no reason.
Netflix will let them do that. If they don't wrap it up quick, you know, Netflix.
Yeah. Unless they find somebody else to carry the show, like, I doubt it, right? So, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I just, you know, I just hope for the best, right? I'm much more enthusiastic about like stuff that's happening in like the Sonic movies as opposed to like this. This is definitely
Sonic movies, though.
Yeah. It's that I definitely feel more like invested in those movies than something like this. This is definitely for me like the type of entertainment where, like, you know, yeah, I'll watch. It's fine. You know, it kind of reminds me of like Boom in a lot of ways. Where like, yeah, I'm a fan of the series, so I feel kind of like obligated to watch some of this stuff. But it just didn't leave that much of an impact. So my hope and speculation and such is very like rudimentary, I suppose. So I'll kind of end it there.
Okay.
Pass it.
All right. Guardcory, did you still want to be last or no?
Yeah, I can still be last.
Oh, well, okay.
Boss theme music ready.
And
It's not gonna be boss music.
MMS hasn't
mean-
seen any episodes yet, so I'll go ahead and go to XOF.
Well, I mean, hold on, cause like,
Wait,
You
how are you
gotta
gonna
watch
have
the damn show
expectations
first.
for
Oh,
the
wait, hold on.
future
Yeah,
How
episode?
you gonna make a comment on something you haven't seen yet? That's
I think what's gonna happen in episode 3 is
well, not gonna happen in episode 3, but like, if I just watched the trailer for like the second season, I tend to like.
That was a trailer?
There's a trailer out? Really?
there's no
Yeah,
trailer.
it was a trailer a month ago. There's a trailer for.
I thought they just
season-
showed an image. I didn't know it was a trailer.
What?
Yeah, it's like a 43. It's like a 42 second one.
Link it somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Here,
But I
here,
was
I'll
gonna
just put it on
say, like,
You sure
What
someone
it-
didn't make it up?
But-
oh my god.
Here, I'll put it on
That's what
camera.
hurt.
Here you
Well,
go.
no, I was gonna say, would
I just
we?
see a
would-
I see a recolor of Sonic in all white, and it's a season 2 trailer or teaser.
Yeah, that's what I was basically. That's what I just said. So I'm just like,
But I was gonna say, like, should we even be having you speculate things for the next season before you have a
I
full
already
view
said-
of
I
this
pretty much
first
already
season?
said what I need to say, but
None of this is official. All
Yeah,
of this
yeah,
comes from like
these-
smaller
This is
channels.
all
trailers are
made up.
fake. Yeah.
Did you get duped
I'm
by
sorry,
some
bro.
like DeviantArt fake shenanigans? Hold up, did y'all
Yeah,
link
They hit him
something?
with a deep fake.
Oh god.
Also,
No.
when you guys get a
it
chance,
was
take a look at the chat.
All right, fine. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Wait,
I know-
the
I
chat
know
as in the
Darrell saw it.
Discord chat?
Yeah, the voice chat.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Issa flip a Sonic. Yeah, that's not. That's
Oh
not,
wait, that's an actual scene in Sonic Omens?
Yeah, that's how it ends.
Wait, that's how it. Oh well. Huh?
1991 to 2020. What?
Dang.
What?
Tragic.
That's
Wow.
yeah, very
this is-
tragic. This is morbid.
That got even more. That got more serious than I thought they would get with it.
Where's my buddy Chris? And he's dead.
It says a fan-made spin-off in the trailer.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is not real, man.
All right. Anything else before you get duped by more fake trailers?
MF.
Well, I mean, that's what it said. Teaser trailer, so I thought it, was,
It's not real, bro. It's not real.
it isn't. Am I-
Like a
is it really
tooth-fairy
real?
Santa Claus.
You-
It's not
This
real.
You're
this shadow
very much
image that I
duped.
used for the
Oh,
podcast
I'm sorry.
thing
You
is like the
gotta
only
remember,
image that I've seen
been
so
just
far.
I just woke up. I'm like. I
All
don't
right,
give-
MM. Oh yeah, see, this is where I'm gonna cut you off. Go finish
Oh.
the rest of the season, and then from there, we will hopefully be able to speculate some more stuff. Because I don't want you to like have
Well, I mean,
speculation.
from like what you guys said, and I've read summaries and everything, so I'm just
Oh
like.
dang, so you've
just-
already been checking out reviews and stuff.
I'm look. I'm telling you guys, I'm not. I didn't just come here just for the sake of like. I mean, it's like
Well, I didn't think you would spoil yourself on the show before watching the show.
my man,
I
I
just
spoiled
spoiled a whole
myself.
bunch of crap earlier. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm hearing you guys talk. Oh my gosh. You know what? Never mind. Just go ahead. Just go
Alright.
ahead.
Alrighty. So, what I'm looking forward to is I don't necessarily again I don't expect this show to blow my mind. I'm not like I don't need it to be like the best thing ever, like to be put on TV, Sonic wise. I'm just more so curious to see if my prediction is correct that this is just like a taste of what's to come, like mainline wise. I'd also like it to kind of confirm where in the timeline this takes place, because obviously it has to take
That's
It
gonna
has
be
to
the
take
next
place-
talking point.
It has to take place after either Adventure 2 or as late as like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Well, question:
Just
do you
kinda-
have any other talking points aside from that? Real quick.
Me?
Yeah.
My cat, get off my leg.
Okay.
Bro, we're getting
Uh,
the timeline discussions off. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Outside of that, I would like to see. I definitely want the action to keep being as good as it has. Like if they can keep that up going, if not, up it up, like make it even better.
Get out of here.
That'll be amazing.
That'd be
Um,
Demon
We'll
with blades.
probably get some sort of super form or maybe even a new like form at some point. That's almost inevitable.
His shoes
So-
and gloves turn into a whole Gundam. That'd be sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go.
we'll get mecha armor Sonic in the bio boosted armor, something to that
We
degree.
have Hyper.
You know it.
I feel like 9 will be, if anything is to bleed into the other parts of the franchise, I think it'll be 9, just to kind of be that kind of foil to Tails / another sort of companion and also sort of kind of rival to Sonic. I feel like he's gonna do his own thing, especially in that like open world dimension he found. I feel like that's gonna come back in some shape, way, or form. Definitely in the show, but that could even be another like talking point when it comes to like the games here on out.
Yeah, not gonna lie. For me personally, like again, guardcory brought up the negative aspects of the character and like highlighting it, but from a like his mechanical standpoint, like just his whole thing of like having a whole Doc Ock thing, I think that
This is lit.
specifically
Love
is too cool for them to not do something else with it.
They've also done
Because-
plenty of cool things in the series that they've never brought up again.
Well, yeah, like that's what I'm worried about. Is this is another one of those cool things? And like having how like being Tails being able to fight like in that Doc Ock style was honestly really freaking cool. I need
I mean,
them to
it's
keep
cool, but you know who else looks cool doing it?
Who?
Dr. Octopus.
Okay, but he's not Tails.
Yeah,
But
he's not-
Tails is a Dr. Ock.
Oh my god.
Tails has to find his own identity, is what
The
I'm
point
saying.
is, there have been multiple times in the franchise where Tails has like done cool stuff with his gadgets, and it's like stuff that could like contribute to his fighting style, and then they like throw it away, and then they like bring it back a little bit, and then they throw it away. Like this is another one of those things that they could like keep, like let him do more when he fights. That's what
I
I'm
just
saying.
want them to level up regular Tails. 9 is cool, but 9 is just a knockoff of other things. Let Tails be Tails. Let Tails do cool stuff as Tails.
Well, that's why 9 isn't Tails. He's just Otherworld Tails. He's not supposed to be
uh,
Tails' replacement.
We need to come up with
Doc
with a
Ock's,
nobody name for
persona.
Tails.
That'd be like saying like, yeah, let Shadow be his own thing. He's fast like Sonic. What?
Nah,
No way.
Shadow can't be his own
wait,
thing.
Tails.
Oh, another thing
Because
I was gonna bring up, actually, talking about what I expect to come. I think, here's my guess of why Shadow's being the way Shadow is. I think he's already experienced this, and due to the whole chaos control, he might be in some sort of time loop or time paradox.
That's what it seems like
That
it
would-
is, that he's stuck.
That's what I
Because he
think
was
he's in.
teleporting
He's the
while
only
it
one
happened.
experiencing like a different temporal experience.
That
But
would
for
explain why he keeps smacking Sonic every time he sees
yeah, so either
He's angry.
he's trying to find the version of Sonic that starts it all, like the quote unquote singularity point, and he's like done this multiple times.
It's like, get back to before you screwed everything up.
Well,
and
that's the other thing
Exactly.
too, is that whenever
That's-
Sonic goes to each
that's
world, there's
my
no other Sonic, it's
guess.
just him.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Also-
that's my guess, or it could totally just be that Shadow is terrible and just not explaining things.
I'm
This
really
is Nine's
hoping
real
it's the
name.
former
There we go.
rules
I
that it
figured
is
out
the
his
former.
nobody name.
What, really? What is it?
Zadels.
Actually, can you type in Sonic with a Z?
No, don't do
Please.
it. It's a trap.
Please.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's not even
If
that bad. It just
if-
exists.
If you do it,
Wait, what's
if you do
the
it, we'll all.
wait?
If you do
Wait,
it, we'll
what's
all get sent to the nowhere place.
What?
Don't do it. It's a trap.
Wait, MM, did you look it up?
No.
I know what Sonic is. I know exactly what it is. Don't do it. It's a trap.
Dude,
Anyways,
you're already there.
the reason I asked
But,
if you had any more talking
let me
points was
just,
because
say,
that was another
it's
good
not-
segue
it's not
into the next
bad. It's
thing.
not a bad thing. You can type in Sonic if you want.
Sonic,
I'm just
Sonic
kidding.
outside. I'm expecting more answers, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more original worlds. I think they're all going to be original worlds with a few hints that there'll be worlds related to the other games, like Pirate World, for example. That made me think of Rush Adventure,
Yes. Where? It's Blaze.
but there's no Blaze. That's the only problem.
Yo, Blaze has been missing too much from the franchise lately.
She's too good. I don't know why. They just don't ever want to go to Silver's World.
Yo, get
then-
Izuka on the phone. We
That's
gotta
another
have
part
a
of
talk.
my. That's part of my guess. It's gonna all be original worlds.
God,
Yeah,
Blaze
I
is so
also
fucking
think that.
hot.
What?
What?
Oh wait, sorry, I'm on autopilot. No, continue.
Alright, that's it for me.
Okay, I'll hold off on some more of my thoughts because I want to take advantage of that semi-segue.
Darrell's turn.
Did I help?
Okay.
Yes.
So
Go ahead.
thankfully for me, the bar is in hell, so I don't really have, and it's not in hell for the reasons that like a Sonic fan would say it's in hell, because like the way most of the characters were treated are fine. All of my gripes are writing gripes. They're just things that it's like, why would you make this decision to do for the character? You could take the Sonic characters out and put any characters in, and my issues would still be my issues. So, like, as far as the story goes, it could go anywhere it wanted. It would still be the level of quality I've come to expect from the show. Now, that's a slam, but it's also a positive, because looking at my notes and after saying everything I've said, I actually don't hate this show as much as I thought I did. I just hate episode 4 and 5 a lot.
Those are definitely the
But-
down periods.
If those episodes didn't exist, I love this show a whole hell of a lot more, but I still have gripes. I still have gripes with like Sonic literally just not knowing anything, which is part of the reason that when Michael's like, "Where are they on the timeline?" I'm like, I feel like he's got to be in his own timeline because he don't know nothing. This man is a blank.
He knows for sure that the events of Sonic 3 happened. That we much can confirm.
Which, I mean, at this point, Classic Sonic is its own
And
dimension.
really, Adventure 2 has have to have happened.
Oh yeah, because Shadow's there.
Yeah.
So that's just the clues I get.
Unless this is just a whole other timeline, and they took
Sonic-
Shadow in a completely different direction.
Yeah, Sonic 3 could have happened. Sonic Adventure 2, probably didn't, because we don't see any humans. Like,
Well, if I remember correctly, hold on, because I could say.
No, because it's supposed to be Mobius, isn't it?
Well,
No.
not Mobius. Yeah, it's like it switches between one, like I guess it's like either. Well, it's not called Mobius, but they call it Sonic's world, and then there's the human world. That's what they originally went for.
but here's
Or it could be
here's
take
why
place
that.
in Southern Island.
Yeah, but like here's the thing with that. So they don't explain why Sonic Adventure suddenly has humans and regular towns.
Well,
They just-
they technically did very recently in one of the Sonic podcasts, or what was it, Tales cast? They explained that like
Tales
one part of the world is for like all the Sonic creatures, and the other part is like our world. They're now inhabited. Yeah, it isn't
Yeah,
Mobius
but-
anymore.
Then I guess
Wait, is that supposed to
That's the
play
current-
off of Unleashed, or is that
That's
supposed
the
to be
current
afterwards?
canon.
Because I
that's
was
the-
about. Oh, go on.
That's the current canon. So I'll look it up right now. But continue.
As I was about to say, I was like, the only time that this is ever explained is in the Archie comics, which are definitely not canon anymore.
Not anymore, unfortunately.
Okay, and see, we keep going back into things that will go into this last topic that I'm gonna bring up. But do you have any other thoughts, Guardcory?
Do I have any other thoughts? So bring back Dread and the Pirates. Allow the Resistance to beat the freaking the 5 Eggmans. I think they're dumb, and I think they should go back to where they came from, or to hell. Either, I don't care. What I want is to see the I want to see more interaction between the doubles that exist, because the Rusty Rose thing and the Ruby Rose thing was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I want more stick and sight gags with them meeting each other and being like, is that what I look like? Like, I want more of that. I also kind of want Shadow to mellow out or start explaining things, but that's gonna come with time.
That's gonna.
It has to.
That will kind of suck though if they really can't go back to their other world. It's just gone. Like, dang, that kind of sucks actually. Shadow's just stuck in limbo.
Wondering how Shadow managed to get into limbo.
Well,
Like,
they
he
made it
used
seem
chaos
like
control,
he
but-
did chaos control at the same time that the universe shattered. So there's some weird paradoxical thing. I don't know.
So wait, are we? Is this like a suggestion of like when you use this chaos control, he just like shifts to the quantum realm, and because he had no
I don't
place
know.
to come back to, he was stranded there?
I don't know, because didn't the comics try to make the whole like chaos force thing out of it? And I don't even know if that's like a thing anymore.
It's not.
Okay, good.
All stuff that shows up in the Archie comics, even when the Archie comics existed, were almost certainly its own canon, unless Sega decided to incorporate some of it, and they rarely did that.
Yeah, then at this point, this
another
show
thing.
really is just taking its own liberties with like how they'll like explain whatever logic applies to this world.
Why are you tempting me with your Capcoms of the cup? But
Oh,
anyway,
I found the Tails 2 video where Tails explains how the world is now,
yes,
and
please.
it's from the Sonic channel, the official one. So this is how it is
Here, hold
currently.
up. I'm gonna
It's at 105.
105. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me...
I thought that was a thing. I thought that was like.
What the frick?
Can-
Gosh, dang it.
Wait, when was that made canon? Just recently, or was that always that way?
Well,
No,
they've been doing
that's very
multiple like
Very
attempts
recently.
to like
Okay, because like I always thought that
revamp
was
the
a
lore
thing
of Sonic.
I thought that was a thing even back when I was back before they made that established. I was like, oh, they're probably just been same world, just like probably in the same world, just
Michael, you said
one
it's
side
on
has
what
one
again?
world.
At 10 what?
104.
105. 105, yeah.
My bad.
It's all good.
Okay,
It's pretty much the same spot.
105.
Someone asks about it, and he's like, well, there are like the Sonic creatures, and then there's like the rest of the world that everyone else inhabits.
Like so they exist,
Mm-hmm.
which has some very
Yeah, he's
Which
explaining right
means
now.
which means they have probably been to the big mushroom jungle and Sonic Heroes and all that stuff. Hmm.
Hold on, turn it up, Ronald.
Yeah, I was like, is
I
that it?
tried.
Of various sizes and natural loop-de-loop rock formations.
The twisty,
Hmm.
bouncy beauty of nature. What more could an adventure
Hold on,
hungry
I gotta
hedgehog
look.
ask for?
Can't see.
From
Oh,
orbit, you can see these
is
massive
that Tails?
continents, right? They're full of fascinating countries, each
I'm
with
looking
their
at the
own
wrong
unique
one. Let me
cultures.
see.
Oh.
FYI, I might need to hop off
particularly
soon.
enjoy sampling all the regional dishes.
Me too.
I just realized, can you guys see it in Discord? Because I'm sharing a different screen in Discord.
No, it's a Sonic the Hedgehog
Nope.
DJ style party.
Yeah,
Okay,
bro.
yeah. My
I
bad.
see-
No,
I see it
I'll
on your
start it over.
stream.
What the freak are you
yeah,
doing, bro?
Because I've been sharing it to the stream. Hold on a second.
Oh
I
my
see it on the
God,
stream.
bro.
Here,
Oh,
I'll...
yeah, I should probably just look at it
Oh,
on the
it's fine.
screen.
I'll share it. I'll change it in Discord. Hold on a second.
No, it's...
Gosh.
I ruined it. I'm sorry.
It's
I
fine.
could have just went to,
I'm
I could've
starting
just went to the
over.
stream. I had
You
the stream open. I just didn't look at it.
you can watch
because-
in Discord. I'll start it over here. Hold on.
Yeah,
God.
turn it up, Ronald. It's really low.
Like, I can't turn it up
From
any
King
higher.
Motor Papa,
Really?
your planet strikes me as
oh,
especially
suck.
odd. Care
Very
to
quiet.
explain yourselves?
Explain your whole planet. Wow, I'm glad we're starting off light.
Our world is a pretty crazy place. We've got checker patterned soil, floating islands of various sizes, and natural loop-de-loop rock formations.
The twisty, bouncy
Almost like
beauty
a
of
video
nature.
game.
What more could
Tails
an
has the
adventure-hungry
Tumblr
hedgehog
icon
ask
on
for?
his desktop.
Orbit, you
West
can see these
side.
massive continents, right? They're full of fascinating countries, each with their own unique cultures and people.
Don't go on
I particularly enjoy
tailstube.com.
sampling all the regional
You might not like what
dishes.
you find.
Me too.
Yeah, each different
Yep.
culture's take
Okay.
on cherry
No
dogs.
comment.
I like to consider myself a connoisseur.
What you can't see from orbit are all the islands dotting the oceans.
Ugh.
There's a
God dang it.
bajillion of them. I'm originally from Westside,
But yeah,
which is where Sonic and I first met. Folks like us,
I kind of
usually
see.
live on
I
these
kind of
kind of
yeah,
islands,
but
while
that's
people
that
like
makes
this
sense. It
live in
can.
the bigger
That makes
countries.
sense.
Wow.
Did I actually-
So there's isolated
Is it loud as
islands.
shit?
For this?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I
they
can turn
they
on my
they
voice.
confirmed that like there's no
Here,
Mobius.
you
It's
take
just like
Okay.
quote unquote
This question
Earth.
comes from
Sorry,
Well,
Yuji Naka.
Considering
You
that
lost your
I
legacy and
consider
your
the
freedom.
whole Sonic. Oh, I consider
Holy
the whole
frick.
planet Mobius. So, or that was my headcanon back in the day. So,
So,
it's
Sorry.
like, no,
Do you guys remember that reporter lady from Sonic Unleashed?
Yeah,
Yeah, she
Oh
was hot.
yeah.
She was
yeah, agreed.
She was hot.
Controversial wood.
hot. No, uncontroversial.
You're right. Common wood.
so
I did have what?
this this
I
actually once again serves as another segue, unless you had any other points to bring up.
how in the hell does this serve as another segue?
Because the main thing that I was going to ask from this
Ron? Is
was
what our type is?
what no, I'm talking about the point of like connection to the games was how all of this, what you guys think of the implications of all of this, and how it could relate, like Michael said, to the games or just future media in general, because this is supposed to be quote unquote canon. Especially with
Well,
how much
Michael.
Ian Flynn has, like, people have been asking Ian Flynn back to back questions about all kinds of things, and he says what he can, but in all these podcasts that he's doing, he even says that he can't share much else because there seems to be some big, like, connecting that they're trying to work on with, like, Sonic media in general.
Ian Flynn is a consultant, though, more or less. That's
Well, that's why
So,
everyone's
that
directing.
is-
He's the easiest person for everyone to direct their questions to. That's why everyone keeps asking him these things.
That is
Well,
unfortunate because Ian
mind
Flynn should
if-
be on the writing team to
mind if
lubricate
I
that.
go first? I
Yeah.
guess I feel like I don't know, but
Wait, where's
this-
the? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't even know the switch to the DJ thing. Hold on, I'm going to part 2. But actually, Riley, you said you gotta go soon. So did you want to say anything about the what's implied with this being canon and what you think may happen? Like, is it going to be managed okay? Are there things you want to see with this in relation to the games or anything else? Like, what are you thinking, Riley?
Um, I don't have too much to say on this one. Right. So I mean, in Frontiers, right, you have a lot of like recognition of just various pieces of Sonic media, so games and shows and stuff. So it's possible that something like this could like link into a future game. Again, that's hard to say. Given, I mean, they tried to do something similar, right, with the Phantom Ruby in Sonic Mania, where it directly linked into Sonic Forces. So I think it's possible, but the fact of the matter is we are pretty far away, I would say, from the next, big Sonic game. Right, especially with that recent report that came out that Sega's gonna give Sonic Team a bigger budget. So I would imagine,
Yes, sir.
bigger budget, more people working on it. Probably will take faster than the last one, but will definitely take some time to come out. So I would say it's very, very unlikely that this would link into it unless they have some type of side game planned, i.e. like Mania 2.
Well, because there is a 2D modern game also being worked on.
Oh, what?
Yeah, there's a 2D modern Sonic game being worked on.
How does that? Never mind.
Basically, like
I
Rush style.
I know what he said, but I'm trying not to think about it.
Oh my god, I'll send y'all videos later. But they've confirmed that there's a 2D game being worked on.
Yeah. Okay. So like, right, it can tie into that, right? To something that's probably gonna be like a download title. It's possible something that's more further along, but I would say it's unlikely to tie into something, right? I don't think this is the same sort of idea as Boom, which Boom debuted alongside, had the game and the show basically come out around the same time. Since there isn't any game really mentioned about this, any tie-in game, I would sort of doubt that. It really depends, right, how long this show would go on for. If it ends up being very successful, I could imagine, if this game or if this show is still running in something like 2024 or even 2025, right, if it's still going on, I could imagine there would be some tie-in. But the thing with speculating like that so far ahead is it's really anyone's guess what it could be. But I would say in the near future, maybe not. If we want to talk something short term like Frontiers DLC, I don't know. There could be maybe some story DLC that could tie in. That's again, it seems like kind of like a long shot somewhat. I feel more like the basic things like maybe cosmetics, right? Like his designs that he has.
Yeah,
in,
that'd be the
other
easiest
universes.
thing to do, honestly.
Yeah, they could do that or something. But in terms of like story DLC level packs, I don't know, maybe, right? In terms of this show being canon, sure. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be. The thing is with like, canon and timelines and all that shit is it's just too much of a pain to really like put it into any specific place. This show could take place any time after, I guess, Adventure, right? Because Big the Cat is there. So it could take place anytime. It doesn't really matter. It's just, this is sort of just, it's sort of just taken a slice out of, whatever the Sonic timeline is, just like anything. And, yeah, so, right, I don't, it's kind of like most what I've said before. Don't have an extensive, like, speculation on, like, what things could be, but, I would say, like, in terms of tying into the games, I would say unlikely, so that's where I'll kind of leave it.
All right then. And did you have to go like right now already? You're heading out?
Yeah, I mean, how many topics do we have left?
This was gonna be the last one, honestly, aside from y'all doing some rating in comparison to the other shows, if you dare to.
Oh,
But you already
I
kinda
kind of
did.
already did that earlier. I kind of compared it. I mean, I put this in what, like, my top 3, I guess. Honestly, like, that's not really like a big statement, because honestly, like, most of the Sonic shows are nothing too special. Like, I have nostalgic, like, memories with them, but in terms of the actual shows, they're nothing, like, you know, groundbreaking for what they are. But they're entertaining, and that's fine. And I think this show is entertaining. Again, I don't know if it's gonna hold its place where it lands. Where I put it like in 3rd place, right? I think that's about right for me. If I were to give it like a final score, probably like 6, 7 out of 10, which is like, you know, average. I would say a little above average, maybe. I'm probably giving it a lot of points just because I am a fan of the series, but I think as for like a show and a cartoon, it's well made. It's fine. It has good production value. The voices are good. Characterization is fine for the most part. I didn't nitpick it nearly as much. I am not like injecting as much logic into it. I sort of understand what I'm getting into a Sonic game or story in general. I'm not necessarily gonna be like, you know, every little like plot hole and everything I'm gonna pay strong attention to.
It's gonna be whatever.
I see the shots. Listen, when that's all there is, that's all I see.
I get it, right? I get it. You know, you watched it more recently than me, so you have much more of a fresh opinion on it. You know, I saw it when it came out, and I had a good time, and I didn't really have a desire to watch it after that. I don't really have a desire to see it again. Maybe later down the line, I might give it another chance once like everything has been kind of released for it. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where Sonic Prime stands for me. It's enjoyable, but nothing that's like, you know, nothing that like blew me away. I'm not like, it definitely kind of fits in line with a lot of the 2022 Sonic games with like Origins and Frontiers, where it just kind of slots in this like, yeah, where this is good enough. That's kind of how I felt. So
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Alright,
sir.
well, thank you for chilling with us, Riley.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. And yeah, you guys have a good night. Thank you.
You too,
for
bro.
letting me
Good
do
to hear
this.
from you.
Of course. Take it easy. Peace.
Laters.
Later.
So then, let's see. Well, so at this point, guardcory, do we need the boss music? Do you still want to
No.
be last or no?
Like, I can still be last, but you're not gonna need the boss music.
Okay. Well then, I'll go with MM. Before going into, I just had him go into like closing thoughts because he had to go. But here first, MM. Just give your general thoughts on like what you think this would mean for the show and the franchise, with it being quote unquote canon. What is your initial thought when that's like said?
That's really hard because like when it comes to like shows and like the games, I always consider them separate. So when it comes to like the story and the games, so it's rare to see them be to see it be canon. I don't think it's going to be as canon as like say Archie Comics was, or like the Archie Comics as the comics or the IDW comics were for like Frontiers and stuff. I could see some canon being put in there, just probably some characters or like this one part of the story, you know, being referenced, but I don't know if it's gonna be like full on this was canon, but it was probably like a short mini adventure and stuff. I guess it's
Well, because like a small short story, if it's like a prequel or something, it can still be, that's still canon. Like canon is canon if it's a part of the main timeline, but do you mean like the relevance of what's happening?
Yeah, the relevance of it. I feel like it's gonna be not as relevant, but it's kind of weird seeing it as like, or like, wait, did you say it's like an origin story? Or what you said?
Well, because that's part of the speculation aspect of it, actually, because people have already been like trying to think of if this is canon, when does it take place, or is it just a whole separate dimension, so it doesn't matter when it takes place?
It would depend. Like we would have to go ahead and wait till like the full story is over before I could think of any. I'm gonna have to be real with you guys. I will say I'm speculating when it comes to this, but I'd rather wait till like the full story is over, like the whole series is over first before I kind of say if this is more canon or not. I mean, it could be like what Sonic X. Yeah, it could be like Sonic X, where just like the game, like the way it was portrayed in the games was totally different from like it was like somewhat different from like the, from Sonic X's like take on the adventures, battle, and the adventures, the battle, and the battle games. So, but overall, I feel like it's going to have some references, but it's just like it's going to be its own mini story, and I don't know how canon it's going to be. It could be its own thing. It could be an alternate timeline, kind of like the Sonic Boom games.
That would be the easiest thing to do, to be honest. You just say it happens somewhere else.
Yeah, so short, sweet, and to the point where I feel like if it does become canon, then you know what? Great. Then great. You guys made canon. I'm not going to complain. But if it's not canon, I'm not going to go ahead and be like super mad about it. That it's not canon to the story. If anything, I prefer it to not be canon to the game series, but if it is what it is. I'm not Sonic's writer or anything. So
You said I'm not Sonic. I'm like, huh? I gathered that.
Jesus.
no, I said I'm not the writer of Sonic.
Well,
yeah,
is that lore master position still up for grabs at Sega?
I mean,
I'm not
even
sure.
if I did, I would have to go ahead and go through all the Sonic game lore and all that stuff. And to be honest,
if you're getting paid for it, that sounds like a fun time.
Actually,
here's
yeah.
the thing: I have headcanons, and I can't. That's like there's some things that I have headcanon when it comes to Sonic stuff. So I'm not the person for that job, that kind of job.
Well, you can have the job. You just have to weed out what should happen and what shouldn't. But
My
Shouldn't
problem is that I wouldn't weed out anything. I'd be like, okay, so this is how this happened. Just like,
just try to make everything work.
except some things. Like 06 is getting thrown right out.
Well,
was a
06
bad
already
dream.
throws itself out of
06
existence.
was a bad dream Sonic had when he had too many chili dogs.
06 was not a dream.
Yeah, 06
was
wrote itself
already-
out of the timeline, which now that I think about it, I wonder if they did it on purpose.
Shadow the Hedgehog is a bad dream that Shadow had after.
No, that's absolutely
that can't
canon.
happen.
No, yeah, you can't take Shadow the
But
Hedgehog out.
how? None of the stories connect.
Well, but like Shadow gets his memory back.
Because it's
from
the
story,
aftermath of Sonic Heroes, and the whole point of Shadow the Hedgehog is
Well,
him
this-
like coming to terms with his past and
Well,
moving
then
on
again,
from
You
it.
have to
There's
write
like-
Shadow the
there's like-
Hedgehog in a coherent way then, because all of the stories don't. Like, their
Yo,
outcomes don't make
HD
any
remake
sense.
of Shadow the Hedgehog?
Hold on.
Yes,
Because like,
please.
I
For
was
the
thinking
love
about
of
it.
God.
Yo.
I was thinking about it. I don't know, like Sonic Battle. Shadow does remember Maria and them, and this is where and Sonic Advance 3 and
Actually,
Sonic Advance 3
wait,
and
does Sonic Battle take place
are pretty
after
much
Advance
sequels
3? I
to each
forget.
other.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
no, before
My logic
Advance 3,
is
right?
Shadow the Hedgehog, some of the events in the game, a lot of the major events happen, but the game itself cannot be canon because there are, like, the path that you have to take to even get to the true story, none of those paths could possibly allow the true story
Oh
to
no,
happen.
me and Michael, we found some sauce on what could be the actual
Yes.
canon timeline from that.
Oh my god, yes! See, this is what I want.
Stay
We can't
tuned.
disrupt this timeline to talk about, or we can't disrupt this podcast to talk about it. But like, if you want to sit down and educate me afterwards, I'm all for that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I cannot wait till we get to
curious.
Shadow the Hedgehog in our playthrough.
Me, when it comes to like the canon of like Shadow and stuff, I always consider it's after Shadow, it's Sonic Battle, then it comes to like the Sonic Advance, then it's Sonic Advance 3, now it's
Yeah, I forget
Yeah,
that. I
everything
think
else.
Battle is before Advance 3. But then
Yeah,
again, the
Battle's before
Advance
Advance 3.
franchise in itself has a weird spot between like the Adventure era and the
Oh
Modern
yeah.
era.
Did you have anything else to say, Mim?
About the story. Oh yeah, about the canon. No, honestly, I feel like that was it. Like I'm not Sonic's writer, so I don't know what they're. I don't know how canon is gonna be. You know, it could be just like a reference.
They
like,
plan
in
to
the
make it
games.
work in some way.
I mean, they kind of did do have like some characters be referenced in Sonic Frontiers, but I feel like that's just what it's gonna be. It's gonna be only a reference. It's not gonna bring anything big to the table, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Like I could be wrong. So, you know,
Sorry,
all
that
I'm
knocked
here
me with
is
my batteries.
all I'm gonna say is I'm here for the ride, and yeah.
We're just gonna see what happens. Alrighty then.
Alrighty. Mine's pretty quick because I already mentioned it multiple times. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the template for the next game.
Straight up.
That I think just in general, the past few games have just been hinting at other worlds, like with Mania, how they kind of go back and kind of change the past Sonic worlds. Even then, that Mania Sonic is confirmed to be his own timeline. That isn't classic Sonic.
Yeah,
That's
they
Mania
established
classic
that.
Sonic. And then with that, we even go to like Frontiers, which kind of like, oh well, it's not a different world per se, but it's just an amalgamation of like the cyber version of that world. So I think they've been kind of prepping us.
Starfall Islands is supposed to be like its own island in the main world. In fact, actually, with what you showed, it could just be a one-off island in the ocean somewhere.
I'm just saying, like they're kind of just prepping us slowly, and without our like knowledge or wherewithal, that we're like the next version is gonna be like all about, you know, traveling through different worlds, maybe even like the idea of like backtracking as well, which hasn't really been a thing in a Sonic game per se, outside of like Adventure 1,
actually,
primarily.
Yeah.
But I think more than likely it's gonna fit in that, where it's gonna set up a new game, and if not, it's gonna set up the concept of like traveling to new worlds, or it's gonna be a one-off and it's not gonna lead to anything, and the Shattered Prisms, whatever, are just gonna go in the trash, along with the Time Stones, and the Phantom Ruby, and the Soul Emeralds. It's all gonna go in the trash.
I don't like it.
Imagine Hypersonic coming back.
Oh, it's not. It's never coming back.
Listen.
Confirmed not coming back.
You know what? You're confirmed
We're gonna
not
get
coming back.
We're getting a Prism Sonic. No, they even said Hypersonic's not going back.
Boo!
Well,
They
actually,
even stated that it's not canon. It's
wait,
not-
Cybersonic? No, I thought they actually said they had other plans with it, but well, obviously they had to cut things short with Frontier's development, but there was some other stuff that they might.
Oh, they had to
still
cut it
do.
shorter, right? With that terrible excuse of a boss.
So
We don't even know who the
Man, the
we don't
final
even-
boss sucks.
We don't even know. Oh, you haven't played Frontiers?
I played it. I haven't finished it.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't
The
care.
game is great. The game is
The
great.
game is
You just,
amazing.
no. We're gonna meet up again. Darrell, let us know as soon as you finish Frontiers, and it has to be a hard
Really?
difficult. It has to be hard difficulty to get the true ending.
yeah,
Okay, that's what I thought.
play
because
all
when
of
I
it,
fought
play
the first boss,
Frontiers.
it was-
we're gonna have you with us when we do our first discussion when the first set of DLC comes out.
No. I want.
Come out.
I want it. We don't know. No one knows. No, I want to hear it. I want to hear it like when it's fresh.
No,
the
I
reaction.
want him to. Yeah, I want him to tell us, but I also want him to be in the group discussion
yeah,
when
for
we
sure,
talk
for sure.
about.
I'm just saying,
Because
I don't want-
Allstate Matt and Star still need to have a discussion with us too.
I'm a little
Yo,
sad because
I
once
can't
you
wait.
What you told me, like the first boss that I played, I was like, wow, this guy was kind of easy for how big he was. It's like that's about to become a
It's
running
disappointing
trend.
on a like kind of like a story beat, not necessarily playing it.
Oh,
You have to see it for yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything
should
for you for
You really
Frontiers, to
should
be
finish the
honest.
game. It's great. Just
Uh,
I think you're gonna have a reaction.
yeah, just play the game and talk to us ASAP. That's all I'll say
Yeah.
about it.
Fine. Damn it. I gotta play it on this crappy rig because I was playing it on PS5, but I don't have a PS5.
Oh,
I gotta play it on this thing.
but outside
go
of
ahead.
that, I think this is our unofficial start of the. We need to figure out this new era's name, but for now we're gonna call it the Prism era.
The Prism.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
gonna call it.
World's era.
The prison era.
We'll
know
come
what
with
we're
some
gonna call
kind
it.
of clever
We
name at
usually
some
wait-
point.
We usually wait like a little longer.
Well, no, because
Nah.
every other era is like
'Cause
very self-explanatory. The classic
absolutely,
era,
100%
the GameCube
confirmed.
era.
Right, but like,
No,
don't we usually like wait till like second or third.
Do we? I don't
Well,
know.
I mean,
Well,
I don't know,
I
I
think by
do.
definition you
We
kind of
didn't
have
call it
to
the
because
Adventure-
like
we didn't call it the
Yeah, that's
Adventure there
true.
to like what?
Yeah.
Like Adventure 2 and stuff.
by definition you kind of
So
have
the
to
second
because
game
an
of the
era
year.
only an era only exists when they start making games of that trend. We only know that through hindsight
That's what-
now.
that's why I
That's
only
true.
said that's why I said unofficial start.
Oh,
'Cause
well.
I'm thinking it's
Oh,
starting
okay.
with Frontiers.
Well, because
they have for sure confirmed that the next game will not have a boost button. So no more boost era.
wait, I thought they didn't confirm. I thought they
How
said they were
dare
think
you
they were been
take my
discussing it and
boost from
thinking about
me?
it.
So
Huh?
don't we consider this the end of the boost era or the?
I don't
end
know
of,
if they
you know-
100% confirmed it. I
We're
thought
not gonna call it the end
Kishimoto
of the
said
Boost era
they
era.
were considering it not doing it
Post-boost.
because also
Yeah,
on the
just
side
post-boost.
they're doing a 2D modern boost game anyway.
Okay, you need
So-
to explain that. How the fuck are you gonna be
I
modern in
think
2D?
he means like Sonic Rush.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
like
only
Victor
reason I
Rush.
could think of. So
Yeah.
2D with the boost.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what they confirmed they're working on.
Mm,
Okay. I can deal with that.
I'm watching you.
Even
I'll
though-
send y'all some videos after this is done. Also, did deep in the yeet, do you want like a yeet or you want like a yeet? I don't know what you're asking.
Me?
Well, no, in the chat they asked for a yeet.
Oh.
No yeet. Get out of here.
No yeet. Why? I had already said yeet
No
before.
yeet.
Fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Eat yourself.
It'll be
Wow,
rude.
wow.
Also,
you gotta
I-
be mean to the viewers, bro.
You gotta say
In fact,
yeet with
who
your
asked
chest.
it? Who
You gotta
who
say
specifically
yeet.
asked? I can't see.
deep in the yeet.
Yeet. Deep in
Who
the yeet.
asked for the yeet?
Deep in the yeet.
Yeet.
The person called Deep in the Yeet, bro.
That's
like,
what I
oh.
was saying.
Fucking deep yeet yourself, bro. Truly,
Well, you gotta
honestly.
say-
Actually,
Take
hold on
care.
a second.
You gotta say yeet with your chest, my man.
I
Yeah,
can't. I
Yeet.
removed my chest and
You
sold
gotta-
it for rent money.
That's
gotta
as much of a
conjugate
yeet
yeet.
as you can get. In fact, my mic might have actually shut me down because of my limiters.
Hold on, I couldn't hear it. Like,
See, exactly. I think my limiters
All
might
right,
be stopping
that's
it.
all. That's all I got for me. I've made my prediction.
Yeah,
and we'll
you
go
were
back
on the
to it.
you were on the opposite end of Riley, where this really could be
Because
going into the new framework.
I for sure, I'm 1 for 1 right now because I absolutely predicted they were gonna borrow from Sonic Utopia when it came to Frontiers.
Oh, you were definitely right about
I
that,
was
bro.
100% correct. So I want to go 2 for 2. That's all. Next person. Mr.
So yeah, Darrell, do you where do you stand in terms of like the implications of? Do you think this being considered canon? Are they gonna go the easy route and just say this happens in another world? That's all
So,
you
like,
have to think about.
I can't lie to you. That isn't even where my head is at. Like, the show being canon or not being canon doesn't really matter to me right now because
Oh.
the thing that I'm looking at is the potential, and it's got a lot of it. Like, things that really get on my nerves is unlived up potential and bad writing.
Oh,
And
the
unfortunately-
franchise has done that
unfortunately,
multiple times.
Oh yeah.
the Sonic franchise has done this so often, but like as a show with this much polish, this friggin' just an absolute electric voice cast, and what I consider to be a kind of prolific production studio, for it to come out like this is a travesty, which makes me think that if I get the other half of what this is, if I get what's on the other side of it, I'll probably be a lot happier. But as far as its canonicity goes, I don't even care if it's canon or not. I look at this the way that I looked at Sonic Boom. Well, no, that's not true, because when I look at Sonic Boom, I'm like, this better not be canon. This is funny, but not that funny.
Oh yeah,
it
because
is.
that Sonic Boom is centers around comedy, so like it being its own like alternate world, like
Yeah.
doesn't even really have that
Oh,
much
shoot.
relevance because it's just a
imagine.
cool, funny thing.
Oh, no. Off topic, but imagine Sonic Prime to go to Sonic Boom reverse.
That'd
Oh,
be
you're
hilarious.
getting ahead of me by a bit. But
Oh?
yeah, this is for game, not necessarily for its canonicity in the timeline purposes. But like, I don't know if it's canon. I didn't get the feeling that it was canon because I feel like Sonic just doesn't really know anything. If it is canon, I mean, I guess having Sonic that has less experiences might make sense, but they'd have to make some concessions, like not 100%
It'd have to be
sure
early
how
in the
Shadow
franchise,
fits
right?
in. Yeah, not 100% sure how Shadow fits in, and some of the other characters that were there or have yet to show up.
Twins
just
separated
don't
at birth.
exist, I guess. But
Yeah, where's Omega in Sonic Prime? That's all I'm saying.
yeah, where's Omega? Where are the Chow? Where's Cheese? Where's Blaze? I hate him, but where's Silver?
Dang, bro. Let Silver have his redemption outside of
It's
the
no
comics.
use.
Nah.
It's no use.
Silver
It's
got
no
chopped
use.
to death. He'll never come back.
PTSD.
Bro, I need Silver to have his like main media
This
redemption.
should have been
arc.
it. They're traveling dimensions and possibly time, and they're like, nah, no Silver. It's done.
How do you fumble
technically-
that opportunity
Wait,
though?
Ronald, if it's canon, then the Silver stuff never happened. So
Wait, which Silver stuff? Because again, 06...
his first game.
No, well, that's what again, so 06 writes itself out of canon.
Exactly.
But-
Meaning it never happened.
No,
Which is-
because Silver's technical first introduction is the Rivals franchise.
Oh lord.
That's
I
his
forgot
actual
about those.
canon introduction.
Oh shoot!
I forgot about those.
Yeah.
PSP racing games.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it's canon.
It's not good, but it's canon. Yup,
That's where Silver actually
that is-
officially is introduced.
If that ain't one of the catchphrases of the Sonic the Hedgehog series, it's not good, but it's canon.
You
Damn.
know it. Yep. That's one of the poster boys of not good, but we have to acknowledge it.
But like looking at the canonicity of Prime, and I think I'd rather explore this idea in if they decided to make a game out of it rather than Prime doing it, but they could do it. So imagine all of the old Sonic IPs that they've like disavowed or made non-canon or just choose to ignore. Now imagine that they took the ideas of that, like removed some of the undesirable stuff, left some of that stuff the same, and just left those worlds as though like all of whatever was in it got taken out of it. It's out of whack for some reason. You have new worlds that you can go to instantly with very little changes, and they're recognizable for older Sonic fans. And they can still go about Sonic teaching people lessons and repairing these worlds. Oh my god, I just described Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Sonic Kingdom. That's what this is.
Excuse me, I'm
I
gonna go
mean,
get
I've
this
already
green
I've
pill.
already
I'm
said
gonna go
before
get
that
green
like
pill.
The chaos union whatever. That's just
that's
Organization
Organization
13.
13. I said
Why did I
before
say
that
this?
honestly, the foundation for a Sonic Adventure 3 has already been set
But
in like
here's
a
the thing,
Kingdom Hearts-esque manner.
There's no Donald and Goofy, but there's a Riku. It's Shadow.
It writes
Oh, yeah.
itself.
I kind of have to agree
Even
with that.
season 3 of
That
Sonic
is-
X could just
that
be
is
a straight up Kingdom Hearts ripoff if you think
Yeah.
about it.
Oh yeah, with Dark Sonic,
Yeah,
Anti-Form
like,
Sonic.
and like literally the plot point of
Can't believe
season
they
3 of
never
Sonic
brought
X
that
is they're
back again.
traveling across worlds, saving
All I even
planets.
had to say was, "Hey man, take it easy."
And
Oh,
it's like,
yeah, my
think
bad. I got a little angry.
But think about it. All of the things that have been abandoned or just made non-canon, even Sonic X, there could be a world, there could be like a world for that Sonic needs to go to. Sonic Chronicles, that got abandoned. There could be a world for that they need to go to. An altered version of the Sonic Archie comics, there could be a world for that they
Basically,
go to.
the Penders verse.
Penders
It's not
Why
the
did you
Penders
say it
verse
like that?
because Penders is only responsible for a shit ton of Knuckles stuff. There are other writers that wrote those comics, and they didn't screw up
Oh,
like he
he
did.
he wrote a lot of the original characters too.
He did
He
do
wrote
a lot of
the
things.
original characters, but 90% of what he wrote was Knuckles'
Whoa,
non-forking
he-
family tree.
He got my boy scored, so that's already an L.
Yeah, it's the pour one out for Scourge being sent to the
Scourge,
Shadow
he got
Realm.
Scully.
Scourge.
He may have not gotten everyone, but he got the most vital people.
So
He hit
basically,
Turner.
though,
I know
this would be
Shay-
bringing aspects of abandoned things back into relevance. They have
Wait,
the
was
potential to
Shay-
do that.
Was
I
Shade
mean,
count?
technically,
like
if you make them legally distinct, there's no reason why they shouldn't.
That's a fair point,
I
actually.
feel sad for.
Sega's
wait,
also spooked by this man for some reason.
I don't
oh, this
Sega-
guy.
Sega's not
sued
spooked.
him.
They sure are. If they aren't using them, they haven't been using them.
No, Sega's not spooked. They don't want to have to deal with any money for him. They're not spooked. They're stingy.
I mean, do you want to pay Ken
problem is-
Penders?
No one
No,
wants to
but-
pay Ken Penders, but the
think
problem
anyone
is that
wants to.
Archie screwed up. Sega had nothing to do with what happened at Archie. Archie did not. It was the easiest open and shut case in the world. All they had to do was prove that this motherfucker did not own the rights to the characters with documentation that they should have had for that, because
They
Archie is
didn't.
freaking decades old. They just couldn't produce the document. And I'm like, did Pender steal it? Did you not make copies? Why didn't you make copies?
Legally stole it.
Yeah, they got
Like-
caught. Yeah, they messed up on that one.
They really did. It was the easiest. It was the easiest freaking like free throw shot, and they just
Dang, bro.
they turned into Shaq. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah, I kind of have to be. Yeah, he's right.
Well, then that's so they would have to if they're gonna die on this hill like that, then that's what they would have to do is just reincorporate some abandoned things in legally
And make
distinct
them
ways,
legally distinct.
Okie doke.
which isn't outside of their own possibility.
Anything else, Darrell, on that note?
Not. Oh, okay. That I lied. That's technically connected to the thing that I would have wanted with the games. Imagine stages from Sonic games that are technically not canon anymore, reimagined, and they have like weird physics for whatever reason. Anytime that you either activate the Paradox Prism or you find a Paradox Prism in the stage, it will send you to either a mirror version of that stage or like a version of that stage that runs laterally.
Oh.
So it brings you to another stage that's like it's like the stage that you came from, but it's also smashed together with like
I'm
something else.
so glad Rally isn't here so I can say this. So you mean Sonic CD, but good?
Okay, no, hold on, because I knew you were gonna compare it to Sonic CD. What I was gonna say
Yes,
was
yes,
basically
Sonic,
the
yes.
end of Sonic Mania.
That too.
Yeah,
But-
that's
But you're
it.
talking about like instantaneously switching.
Yes, instantaneously switching.
Okay,
But-
so
I
yeah,
didn't
Sonic
know you
CD,
guys
but
didn't
good,
like Sonic CD. Though.
Sonic CD was good.
bro. That's my least favorite Sonic game.
CD
Yeah.
isn't
Mainline wise.
Sonic CD isn't bad.
It's a weird
it
game.
just-
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah,
It's a weird game.
No one clip this for Riley, please. I'm scared.
He's gonna come back in
Everyone
Discord and be
afraid.
like, "What did you say?"
I know you ain't afraid of him, old sneak dissing MF. I wish you would.
Dang,
I told him
dang.
I'd be nice, but I didn't say.
All three y'all
things.
need a money match in Virtual Fighter.
Oh,
Yeah,
God. I think it's smoked.
No.
Funny match, Versafire, I have
Uh,
to give it to Genesis for that one. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
he hasn't played Darrell yet.
like,
Actually,
whatever, I
all
challenge
four
him.
of you need to play each other. Y'all four of you need to do a round robin. MM
Who,
included.
me?
Yeah.
No, I don't play Virtual Fire 5. I only played 3 right now.
Nope, too
Oh,
late.
that-
You're in this
Right,
now,
that
bro.
is-
Virtual Fighter 3. We will play team battle. I don't care. I
Oh,
love
team
that
battle?
game.
Subway stage only.
Oh
Can't
wait,
do that.
so do you play? So are you in the Virtual Fighter Discord with the boys Jed, Harpoon, here and them?
Yes. I
think
Wait,
I
I might-
am.
might be kicked out.
Yo,
I've never posted in it, but
Someone send me an
Hold on.
invite just in case. I don't think
Virtual
I'm in it
Fighter.
anymore.
Yeah, just the one that's. Oh my God. Yeah, Jed's place. Yes,
Yes.
I am there.
I don't think I'm
You are
there. Anyone want to invite me?
Yeah, I'll
I
invite you.
can.
Hold on, I
Okay,
got
cool,
you.
thank you.
But
Yeah,
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 like,
go
but
on.
all of those stages have to be stages from things that are not canon anymore. So like Sonic, Labyrinth, like just really dig into the not very good games. Like
Just
all of the
bottom
Sega
of the
Gen-
barrel,
all of the
bring out
Game Gear
everything.
games. Yeah, but take them, reimagine them, and make
Sonic
them something.
4?
Yes, Sonic 4 too. Oh God, there is Sonic 4 Episode 1 and Episode 2. Yeah, take both of them. I don't care.
I mean,
But reimagine them and make them
Episode
something
2 is
that's
good stuff
actually
either way.
fun.
that actually sounds sick.
All right, since you invite.
Awesome,
Like,
thank you.
I love that.
I like this idea. They do actually have the potential to kind of do what they want with this.
Of course they do. It's just a matter of if they're going to.
Uh,
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'd like
now
to see
we are
it.
officially
I
on
would love to be
Hopium.
surprised.
We are officially on Hopium.
We're
Yep.
hoping.
You opened the
God,
floodgates for me, bro. I wasn't even thinking about all this
I'm
stuff.
hoping. I'm hoping.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to stop hoping. This is a public stream.
Fuck, I'm hoping.
Dang,
Sir, we don't do that here.
This could. Dang. Okay, yeah. Before we might need another follow-up discussion once the beginning of the next season starts. But now I'm even more hopeful for what they can do, and we just have to hope and assume that this show will actually get its like adequate time and resources to shine.
I also hope that, like, I really want them to like take the time to like pace out their stuff, so that way when you see it, I'm not like having all these writing gripes, because almost none of my gripes were related to Sonic the Hedgehog as a series. They're all related to just like writing problems that I find in other popular things that I'm like, please don't do this. Why do you do this? You thought that I went hard on this? I hate watched friggin' the whatever Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the one where she's like a Satanist. That show
the new.
Yeah.
I think I heard about that.
Sabrina the Teenage Bitch. That one.
That show was like applying acid directly to my freaking eyeballs.
I watched both the live action one and the animated one back on like UPN.
No, not the old ones. The one that's on Netflix.
Yeah, they did a new one again.
Oh, really? I've never seen it.
Literally a Satanist, and it's so.
Yeah,
dumb.
it's Ultra Edge. From the little bit that I've seen so far, it's Ultra Edge. Good lord.
That sounds so weird. Why don't they just stop remaking old shows?
I don't know. I know this though. So that series didn't do very well in the comics, but it still got a show because Riverdale got a show. But Archie, immediately after Chilling Adventures wrapped up, they were like, "Oh, we're sorry, guys. Here's a traditional Sabrina comic."
You know what's funny about that? People are bitching and complaining about Velma, rightfully so. But a whole other show did Velma before Velma. It's called Riverdale.
Yeah, it did, and I hated that show.
But the problem is that Riverdale was so fucking like bizarre that like you couldn't look away.
No, I could look away easily.
Yeah, you could, but like
when people told me about wild stuff that happened in the later seasons, I was like, that show's still running.
I think is it not still running like today?
I think it is.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild.
Oh, God.
Sounds spooky.
It is.
Yeah,
all the wrong reason.
Well, with at least the potential for this to do more, especially with the year of Sonic upon us, according to Daddy Iizuka, I really do want to see what happens with this, and then if it ends up having any relation to the rest of the franchise. Aside from that, if you guys do have any other closing thoughts, now would be the time, because I'm gonna go ahead and close this out.
I like the idea of Sonic CD, but better. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right.
Well, dang.
Let's make a whole other game simply based off this puzzle stage from Mania, and I'm not even kidding about that.
Holy frick.
I don't dislike that idea.
It's just basically good Sonic R.
I didn't find out that people hated the special stage on Sonic Mania until like maybe a year ago. I was like, wait, people don't like it.
I love that 3D
It's
style.
odd, it's already
want a
partially
whole game
inspired
just
by
like
something
that.
else.
Wait, which Sonic game? Or which
Mania.
Sonic Mania's bonus stage.
The running bonus stage.
Oh, the bonus stage? I didn't.
Yeah.
I liked it. Love the music. Yo.
And outside of that, for my serious closing remark, I think it's good. I think it's successful enough that even if it doesn't end the way we want it, there will be more Sonic TV shows to come. Like, it won't end.
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
I'm probably gonna wait till like they finish the whole. If they don't finish, like, if they go with season 2, or if there's like end of the series, I'll wait. But if not, I might as well just go ahead and just wait till season 2 is all over, then binge watch everything. So
you're gonna just wait entirely? Dang, the patience.
It's more so like. It's season 2 should be. I don't know when. If
there's
season
no
2 is
distinct
not
day.
dead.
They just said sometime this year. So if you really want to wait that long,
this year. Yeah, I can wait. I'm very patient, and also if we do a stream, I don't want to just be like, oh, I watched all of it, didn't watch it till now. and then watched season 2 and was like, don't remember my thoughts for season 1 and 2.
I guess that's fair, because
So-
then it'll all be fresh in your mind. Okay.
Yeah, it's better I do that.
Or you can just do what I did and marathon it all.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
also
that's what-
re.
that's
In
what I
fact,
meant.
honestly, I'm gonna be
Oh.
rewatching it
Yeah,
at some
I'm
point.
marathon the whole series. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and just like skim a few things if it leads to like boring parts. But other than that, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't.
I
do
really
that.
think you should at least give the first part a watch, so that way when you watch it again,
Honestly,
like your
just watch it all,
memory recall
dude.
will be stronger.
Especially for the pirates that you're looking forward to, they're honestly.
Yeah, I
probably
think you
the
should at least just like give it a watch
Just watch it
now,
all.
and then just it's not even that long, so you could revisit it later. And again, since it's confirmed now 24 episodes and they only released 8, either one they're gonna do the rest all in one big bulk, or they're gonna do 2
They're
more
gonna do
parts at the
eight-
same time.
They're gonna do
24
8 episode increments. They're gonna milk it.
So there's
I
gonna
kinda
be 3
hope they
parts.
do.
Yeah.
Make it 3
Yeah, I
parts.
think they're just gonna 3 parts.
Yeah, that'd
that's
only
my
be
guess.
2 more parts. There wouldn't really be much else to stretch out.
I know, but it's just like at this point, at this point, if I got like, I too tend to forget, so I'll make sure get time to go and just binge watch them all. So
Alrighty,
I'll make
and
sure-
in the meantime, we have to wait for more news anyway, I guess.
My question
so,
is,
like when they start, once the date of season 2 is close, I'll start binge watching season 1, get it fresh in my head, then watch season 2.
Sounds good. Wait, what, Duro?
my question is, when are we doing this again?
As in like Prime discussion or like Sonic discussion in general?
Sonic discussion in general. I didn't get to talk about the other things that I watched that I enjoyed.
So,
Well,
in terms of
could,
like, huh?
We could make another Dave just for you, Darrell.
We go. Well, yeah. If there's any, in fact, you can go into the stream suggestions channel. If there's any other particular Sonic discussion you want to do, let me know, because the only other thing we had on our agenda was doing some Sonic Frontiers discussion / review when the first wave of DLC comes out. But if there's, oh wait, and I forgot, we're gonna do the Sonic Sonic music tier list at some point. I need to find something that has
Wait,
like
you
everything.
got
You were gonna tell me about a Sonic music tier list? Oh, it feels so
Hold on,
good.
when is it
Alright,
top 10 or top?
Be ready.
Is it top 10?
Well, I meant like a literal tier list of like ranking the OSTs, but I
Yeah.
was gonna ask you guys also to make. In fact, you know what? Yeah, start planning your top 10 list for like Sonic
SAT2,
songs.
Quadruple Omega S tier. That's all you know.
Quadruple Omega.
Honestly, anything.
Oh, man, this is gonna be
I'll be honest with you. I can
Oh
spoil
wait,
it already here.
don't spoil your list yet. The point is start
No, I already told
thinking
you
of
that's
it, keep it in your
my
mind.
favorite. I already told you my favorite song.
Well,
so.
come up
Yeah,
with the
mine's
rest of your
gonna have
list.
to be an individual track list, because if I'm doing soundtracks, that's asking me to
Yeah,
pick my
that's
favorite
one
band.
thing
I can't do
already
that.
for your homework is
Depending
make
on how
a
many people
top 10
show
list
up,
of
Ronald,
tracks.
Probably you do it like 5 songs, because if there's like 10 of us doing 10 songs.
Well, no,
Oh,
I say
songs.
make 10 just in case, but it probably
Oh,
will just be a
God.
top 5. In fact, I
Okay,
already
cool.
tweeted my top 5 to be honest.
When is this
but-
gonna happen?
Soon.
I already told you my top
Let's just say that.
When's it gonna happen?
Let's just say soon.
Soon.
When? They keep talking over you. When is it?
Let's just say soon because, again, in the stream suggestions channel, I have a whole list of other things that we may do. So make your list, and then I'll be talking to you guys and letting you guys know when we can try to like discuss things.
Right.
But just assume that it will be on a future Thursday in the next few weeks.
Got it.
Cool.
Okay.
And the next episode, so before Slashback or after Slashback?
Probably before. But in terms of Sonic Prime discussion, that sounds like it's everything. In fact, whoever was watching, thank you for watching. In fact, I figured this was some interesting discussion, but it also opened my third eye for expectations that I didn't even come to mind for what it could mean for like the franchise as a whole. There's some potentially really interesting stuff that could happen in this year of Sonic that we'll be getting.
Well, like I said,
Go ahead.
as the old saying goes in that one Sonic song, the possibilities are never endless.
Endless Possibilities, which is a spoiler for my top Sonic songs list.
Wait, did we already do closing remarks?
This
I
is
thought-
our closing remarks.
Yeah, I thought this was
Oh,
a closing remarks.
my bad.
We
Well,
just keep getting derailed.
Well, did you
Oh,
have
you're
any
leaving
other
there? Oh.
thing while I find someone to... Actually, I know who I'm gonna raid. Did you have any other closing
Blockbuster.
remarks?
Oh, I didn't even. I hadn't even given my closing remarks.
You did? Well, because you... Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead.
The grape ape is first rate. Shit, man, I don't know.
What?
Okay, I can't think of. Oh wait. So like, for everybody that, did you end the stream?
Oh,
Damn.
no, I turned off the Discord stream.
Oh,
Okay. Oh my.
for everybody that thinks that I hate, so I don't. The writing really, really irks me. But this is not hate. This is. I more or less look at this show as there is a potential to make something that's pretty fun here, and I really, really want you to do it. Boom was something I didn't think was going to be worth anything at all after seeing the games. Then I watched it. Honestly, one of my favorite cartoons of Sonic ever. It's
Oh,
pretty damn funny for most of its episodes. I really like watching it a lot. So I look at this and I'm like, you're next in line, bro. All you have to do is beat Sonic Underground, and I'm fine. Sonic Underground
bar.
is something that I still find to be quote unquote watchable, but because it's bad. If you can beat Sonic
Well-
Underground, you're good.
dang. Sonic
I mean,
Underground is the bar now.
Dang, I remember when I was waiting for like the ending of Sonic Underground, and this was back in elementary school and stuff. Shame that it got canceled. So
I was about to say, because I genuinely don't remember how it ends. 'Cause it-
I also
I don't even remember if it ended. That's the thing.
I mean, you can check it out on YouTube right now, and all the episodes are there.
Ah man, yeah.
Man, it's gonna be
I was
another
only. I
binge
remember
watch to
me
do.
and my brother used to wake up. My younger brother and me used to wake up just before school every day just to see how the next show. So that was something I remember from my childhood. So
What did you think of the voices? Because they
I
had Jaleel
didn't-
White on payroll for real.
as a kid, I didn't really care honestly about the voices. That it was normal for me. So
I don't.
you know,
I
it's like watching. It's like watching Sailor Moon dub back then. You
Oh.
could be like, yeah, that was normal. But as an adult now,
I love
there
them,
it is.
but it's because they're so bad. Like
The
the only
dub.
one that sounds normal is Sonic. The rest of them are very archetypical. And Jaleel White playing both a surfer dude and his own sister is super weird.
That is weird.
Oh, it was wait, Jaleel White did the whole thing.
He did all three of the characters. He did Sonic
What?
Mania and Sonya.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, kind of
that's-
impressive.
Okay. You know what? Jaleel White.
You
A lot
tell
of
him.
people forget that fool was Sonic for almost 10 years.
Yo, why was he voice acting Sonic for the whole thing?
I don't know. No one said.
Actually,
that's
I
what
want to
they
hear
asked him
Jaleel
to
White
do, I
say
guess.
"You're too slow" in the
Apparently, he was supposed to come back for Generations, but that
Yes.
didn't pan out.
Every
Yeah.
single time I hear it, I lose a couple seconds of life. It makes me so sad. That
I
would be the
think-
only thing to make
Well,
Generations better. for
Sega's
me.
also been pretty awful to voice actors when it comes to like contracts and whatnot.
Yeah.
The whole
They don't want
the
them- they
weird
don't want them
thing
to
of them
be, like,
firing Roger Craig and
unionized.
then bringing him back in like a few days.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's weird.
when was where's that article? I'm curious.
What article?
Wait, when they fired
Well, it was a
Roger
very
Craig's-
odd. I mean, honestly, it was more of like a weird Twitter drama thing.
I just want my boy Ryan Drummond back. That's my Sonic.
I mean, with the
Nah,
potential
Jason
of like multiverse stuff like this, it's not outside the realm
Jason
of
Griffith
possibility.
can
Yeah,
eat
why
a dick.
wasn't? Why didn't they
Okay,
do,
now
like,
that
all
is
the
a hot
vocal
take,
acting?
brother.
People
what'd you
are
say?
like, I bring up, I like Ryan Drummond. They're like, but Jason Griffith. I'm like, yeah, he's just simulating Ryan Drummond. He can
He's
suck
really
my balls.
not.
He can eat the whole
Okay,
shaft.
yeah,
I-
I'll admit that
Nah,
originally
bro,
he tried to.
they aren't even the
Wow.
same.
I'll
He's
say
like
he
never-
originally tried to, but then later after, I feel like after 06, he made it. He made
Unleashed was genuinely peak Jason
Unleashed
Griffith.
and Black Knight were Jason
Oh, now hold
Griffith,
on there,
man.
brother.
That was best. That was best.
I mean,
Yeah, just suffer through the shittiest sword swinging like hack and slash game. It's like,
I-
but Jason Griffith though.
I wasn't even
Wow.
gonna bring that up, but
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, do I have Black Knight defenders in here? White Knights for Black Knight.
White Knights for
I mean, a little bit, because you already know what we said. It's not good, but it's canon. Even though that's
Yeah.
not canon,
It's
it's not good, but it's not canon.
we have a very interesting parameter
in
here
reality,
for
I don't
quality
have
control.
anything against, I don't have anything against Jason Griffith. He's good. Just Ryan Drummond. That's like my Sonic. And
That should be another
he
public
was quote
discussion
unquote.
we could do.
He is the first Sonic voice in a game.
Wait,
Well, he's
He
the
is
first.
in the
Yeah.
game.
And he
Actually, like,
fucking
well,
killed it.
no, I
set
forgot.
the
Did the
standard
OVA
so
come
high.
before or after Adventure?
I
you
said
know what would be
in a
fun?
game.
In
Oh,
the
in a
game,
game,
we're
yeah.
talking about
Come
game
on,
canon,
cuz.
then yes, he is the. Wait, hold
Typical-
on. It was that whoever said "I'm out of here" in Sonic CD was the first Sonic voice.
That was like
But
some
we're-
like random program was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Right. But,
I don't even count that.
I mean,
Or what about
I mean,
the guy
if
in the options though?
Let's not talk about that guy. Oh my
Okay.
god.
I mean, okay, but for real, like, yes, Ryan definitely. I feel like Ryan really did do well when it came to like Sonic Heroes.
Well, that
That's
was
what I
like
feel
one of the peak moments
all of
too.
them. It was just
We're gonna
Adventure
save
1
that for
just
another
has-
discussion.
the weirdest animations. He's like, you're gonna crash.
Oh no doubt with the stupid eyeball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a whole
something
other
bugging
discussion
you?
that I want to do. Is like that could be actually a whole tier list that'll probably set Twitter on fire. Is ranking the VAs for
Hold on,
each character.
I got hot takes.
Once again, though,
Save
ranking the VAs for Sonic the Hedgehog is again, it's like me picking which one of my kids is my favorite. I know which one is my favorite VA, but I don't think any of them are bad VAs. They all.
No.
I had
Yeah,
fun with
they
all
all.
of them.
Well, I mean, the majority of them have some value, but again, this is something that will just set Twitter on fire because everyone will have their takes. So that's
Honestly,
why,
You know
honestly,
what they're gonna do? They're gonna get into a knife fight and fight over this, and I'm like, I don't want y'all to be like at each other's throats about this.
oh, it's gonna happen.
God.
In fact, yeah, we're gonna save that topic because I wanted to. I'm putting that in Discord. Hold on, I'm gonna update
Wait.
the pinned thing. That's gonna be another discussion. Is tier
Wait,
list
as
for
you're-
the Sonic voice actors.
As you're doing that, I had forgotten that I had come up with an idea for something earlier that I didn't mention.
Wait, what?
Dr. Eggman voice actors.
Oh,
Is that even
That's
fair?
gonna be tough.
Dean
I love
Bristow,
all of them except
Dean
for the
Bristow,
very
one.
first one.
Mike Pollock 2, everyone else they can fight.
Yeah, like I don't know. In fact,
No.
Eggman might be the one with the coldest
Oh, is
takes.
Tim Cummings your number one?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Lord.
Holy
Like,
crap.
it's a tie.
He's
Like,
just he's phoning it in. He's doing his typical bad guy voice. Like he's not bad, but he's just like here. Let me be angry Winnie the Pooh.
Wow, you said that with a straight face. Let me be angry Winnie the Pooh.
Sonic
But
VA.
yes,
It took me.
But let me ask you something,
It took me
Michael.
all my strength to not crack up.
oh, no.
Top
But let me ask you
five.
something, Michael.
What's up?
Who is starring in a horror movie about them this year?
Okay, listen, that
who is
shouldn't
it?
even be a thing. First of all,
Also, who was the terror mask that was telling people to punch him in the ass? But yeah, I went there.
I'm gonna
Gentiles.
take this opportunity
Still there,
to at least end the stream, so that way I can export this to YouTube.
No, Ronald, don't put our takes out there. They're too hot. They're just,
Well, too late
they're too
now.
corrosive.
I think
Riley's gonna
I'm
find me
take
for
hot.
sure.
Well,
Oh,
actually,
no.
I'm
Not even close.
rating
Just
Riley's
stand behind me,
stream.
I'll protect you.
Everyone that's been watching, by the way, thank you for
My
watching.
take's not hot? Okay.
Wait, what, Emma?
I honestly don't remember. What you
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, everyone that's been
What?
watching,
said
thank you
kill
for
us all?
watching.
Oh.
said. Alrighty, bro.
Keep an eye out for all the future Sonic discussions, and let's hope that this will bring some even more interesting things to the franchise. But let's go tell Riley